There's always that thing, everyone knows that crime is really low in Japan. But when shit happens in Japan, it's from like 0 to 100. It's like, I'm going to like burn everyone alive and like post it like on 2chan just because I feel like it.
I'm going to do an impression of Garnt because I'm a guest. Hello! Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast.
Really? That was your impression of me?
Yeah.
Wow, Joey.
You really cut up the Trash Taste Podcast.
Yeah, you gotta put your thing up to here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Hello! Welcome
This is the
back to
thing.
another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast, the show where we talk about food, shitting, and occasionally anime.
Oh my god.
I'm your host for today, not Garnt, and with me is Garnt and the other not Garnt, and I'm a guest. I'm a host with a guest.
Wow.
You can tell this is the first time Joey's hosting a guest now. I'm the
Yeah.
guest.
I'm the
guys.
guest. I'm the host with the guest, and the guest is Aki. Hello.
Hi, I'm Agnes. How you
That's
guys
your name?
doing? Yeah,
the
it is.
long-awaited.
The long-awaited.
Is this a name reveal?
It is. Yeah. Well, it's not really a reveal. You can look me up on Wikipedia. It's like right there.
Why'd you have to flex that you have a Wikipedia right off the bat?
You have one too.
I don't.
I have the YouTube.
You have a famous birthdays.
What does that mean? What does that even mean?
Famous birthdays are a plague on the earth. They keep fucking emailing you, asking you for information.
Yeah, and also half of that info is like kind of not correct. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
I think
wrong.
I had to email them back like 3 times because they kept getting my birthday wrong.
I think there's like a wiki YouTube.
Like the one thing you shouldn't get wrong.
Yeah,
Famous birthdays.
I
It's your
know that
birthday.
there's like a wiki YouTube, and that is more like
That's also a play.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
that one either.
Yeah, that one's the most inaccurate wiki of all time.
No. There's one called like celeb dating. Have you seen this one?
No.
This one has it like.
wait. I think maybe.
This one just randomly just takes it, and then it will be like dating, and it will be like they'll like summarize if you're dating and if you're married.
Right.
But they have no information, so everything's just like unknown.
Speculation.
Unknown.
Oh my god.
It would be like,
Unless-
Dog VA was last spotted dating at this time, and it's like 2014. It's like, oh,
Wow.
Unless you're dating another YouTuber.
It's kind of
yeah,
creepy
yeah.
to see how like deep some of these people really like look back into your photos, and then that's who you are. But
That's
they
the
don't
other
even
thing
take
I
into
hate.
account that there's been like literally so much time between like this photo and like who
That's the
you
other thing I
are.
hate about famous birthdays is that they use photos from like 2012.
Yeah,
And then it's just
yeah.
like, oh yeah, if I go look up this person now, they're gonna look exactly like this, and then
I
you
think
realize it's
on-
like an 8-year-old photo.
I think like on YouTube Wiki, like they even have like your top 10 friends. Like they've decided like, oh,
Yeah,
Aki's
that's
just
weird.
yeah,
These are your
that shit's
friends.
like actually fucking weird. And then like sometimes I'll put someone, I'm like, I haven't even talked to that person since like 2000. I don't know, like
So
2011.
there's 2 types of YouTubers who collab often. That's people who only interact through the collab, and
Yeah.
people who interact all the time outside of the collab,
Right.
and occasionally in the
We're
collab.
YouTubers. We don't have friends outside of YouTube at all.
Yeah, I mean, it depends right on who you meet, if they like
Mm.
to collab a lot and how they like to do their YouTube friendship.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I recently went to an event with like people who had nothing to do with YouTube, and it was just kind of refreshing actually, just to talk to people who are just
God
doing
discovers
normal jobs.
people outside of the internet exist.
It's like, wait, there are people that aren't YouTubers?
Yeah.
On YouTubers and have nothing to do with the anime industry, because now that like it's weird because now that our hobby has turned into our jobs, like we naturally socialize with people who are just also to do with our job because that's our hobby. So it was weird talking to people who were just like working.
So TLDR, you went to a bar.
Basically,
Yeah, pretty
to a
much.
place with normies.
Yeah.
Guys, they're pretty cool.
They
man.
exist.
Yeah, like I have a whole part of my life that has like literally nothing to do with like YouTube or anything. Wow, my fucking earring just fell off. Anyways, but anyways, so I'm gonna just try and get that. But there's like a whole part of my life
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with
Yeah, because I'd say
fucking.
Yeah.
outside of your earring falling down.
Yeah, no,
I'd say you're probably
the-
one of the more private YouTubers
Yeah,
that I've met.
I like how we just went straight into it, and you didn't.
Yeah,
even introduce yourself.
maybe you should explain
I mean,
it.
we know
If
we
they
know everything.
Joey, they know you. But
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on,
yeah.
go ahead.
Go
Yeah,
on.
why don't you
just in case for the 1% who don't know
Who you
what,
are.
what your relationships are, and who
Oh
you
gosh, where should I even begin?
Just if you had to explain to someone at the bar what your channel is about and
Oh,
what you do.
man.
are. Pretend
like
you're
you-
talking to a normie.
Yeah,
Dude,
pretend
no.
you're talking to a normie, yeah.
I actually like just hang out with mostly normies outside of like just YouTube, and whenever like someone who doesn't know who I am, like when they ask, "Oh, what do you do?" I literally just say I work from home. It's just the easiest thing to say because the moment that I say that like I'm a YouTuber, maybe you guys have like had this, but I just feel like that just opens so many doors
But that means nothing in 2020 because
Yeah.
everyone's working at home now.
yeah. I'm just like, oh, I do like marketing marketing. It's just I try to pick up the
too marketing.
I did.
That's basically how I started explaining my job to my parents the first time I started doing it. It's just like-
Yeah.
I had to tell my grandma that I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I know those.
Yeah, but no, like, and then I do have like those moments where I say that I'm a YouTuber, and then I just go into the details.
Well, what's
of
your
all of
YouTube
that.
channel about?
My YouTube channel, honestly, like people have just said she's not an anime channel anymore, or she's still an anime channel. Honestly,
We can get into that later, though, into all of that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
What would you call yourself?
I'm just more of like just an otaku channel. I'm just someone that lives in Japan that just shares their life and what they like to do here. But I don't know. It's weird because I still don't really know what I am, because I used to call myself just anime YouTube, but then like I'm too J-vlog to be anime, but then I'm too anime to be J-vlog. So I just thought, oh, otaku channel. That's probably the easiest thing.
Who needs labels? I don't really give a
Yeah, I'm just Akidearest.
I feel
on
Connor's in the
internet.
same realm though, right? It's like
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
People
much.
call me an anime YouTuber, and I'm like,
I mean, we
when do I
both
talk
do
about
stuff
anime?
around Japan, like, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like as an anime fan, especially when like as an anime fan, I do all these other things because in Japan, because when you like anime, it just puts Japan in front of you, and then it just puts like all of these other things. So that's why I'm okay with talking about like, I don't know, just like Japanese products, or like, you know, just when I blew up, I talked about Vocaloid because I always just thought, even though it's not an anime, it's just something every anime fan knew. It just somehow made its way.
It's kind of just like the weeb culture.
Yeah,
like, I feel
essentially.
I feel
Yeah.
like you don't need to know anything about anime to watch my content, but I feel like you get a lot more out of it if you are into that kind
Yeah.
of culture
Yeah.
in general
Yeah.
and that kind of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot more like quote unquote anitubers who are kind of going in that direction too. Like I'd say like I'm going in that direction.
I think that's
recently.
where most anime YouTubers going, because anime content is just not performing well. Because well, not performing as well.
Yeah, as it was. Yeah, like you can't make like a 30-minute.
I think this season's been really good for anime content, but for the past year, it was pretty rough.
Right, like
I-
2020 and 2019 was really rough for
But
anime content.
it's funny because I feel like it's really just the hype that Attack on Titan has brought
Yeah.
that has just reminded people, oh yeah, anime exists, guys. Anime
Yeah.
actually exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
And
to say
that
like,
kind of trickles down
to everything else, yeah.
Everything else.
But like you can't make like, you know, a 20-30 minute analysis video on
Yeah.
some seasonal show that's not the biggest one now and get
I never
half
really
as many
even watched
views.
them too much in the first place. I just kind of watched stuff, and that's why like.
because you went to like anime conventions and stuff.
Yeah, I went to
yeah,
anime,
yeah.
but like, you know, I mean, I was just a pleb. Like, I just watch shit, but I don't actually like think that deeply, which is
Yeah.
weird because like in the beginning of my YouTube, I used to do a lot more analytical stuff, and one of them I think is like your favorite series that I dropped
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Everything you didn't know about, right?
Yeah, that one was pretty fun. That's when I did like some detective work going into an anime of like what every reference meant. My favorite one
That got
still.
so oversaturated on YouTube.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
what?
it did.
it-
Eventually, it did.
107 things you need to
Oh,
know
yeah.
about Naruto.
Yeah, and,
that,
like, you
Yeah,
know.
no, it was more like 100 things you didn't know about Naruto,
Yeah.
but like 97 of them is really obvious.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Vocaloid videos that popped up, and like the Vocaloid and I think Ghibli videos that popped up originally.
There's literally just one Ghibli video. And I remember like there's so I don't know why the fuck that blew up. But yeah, no. Also Vocaloid. What's funny is that the Vocaloid video, the first one that went up, I originally was not going to post that because I just thought, oh no, I'm just going over like Vocaloid songs. Who cares? But then and then the file almost crashed like the night that I was going to upload that, but then like luckily enough there's like autosave stuff, so I went through like all these fucking files like please tell me that you saved it somewhere and I just uploaded it, and then the next morning, like actually within that week, then it started to blow up. And I remember yeah, we were still really early in our friendship, and I think when I blew up I like got in a call with you. I wanted to like vomit at like the numbers that were growing because I didn't know how to handle
Yeah, because
it.
you were
Yeah.
getting like, I think it's like 100K a week or something
It was-
ridiculous
Wait,
like that.
how did you guys even meet? Because I don't think I've ever like
You
told
don't-
this story.
We have, but like I
pretty
don't mind.
forgot.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's okay. So let's see. It was like I don't think I was even at 1,000 subscribers,
We were
but
at like 800, I think, 700,
yeah.
something like that.
Okay, so I was looking for other YouTubers to talk to. So the last time I was on YouTube, it was under another name. It was called Schoolgirl 101. Okay. So,
Amazing.
It-
Why,
it
didn't
was-
you, why didn't you stick with that? eh?
I will tell. Okay, no. So,
the
this,
Anime Man and
Hold-
Schoolgirl
this will all like wrap up to when I meet Joey. All right. So when I was like like 12 or 13 when YouTube was like first starting. I had like Schoolgirl 101, and I used to upload a lot of AMVs. I loved making AMVs, and it was like a community in itself. AnimeMusicVideos.org. Is anyone here old enough to remember? You know that?
Garnt is in that era. I think Connor and I were a little too young for that era.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So like that website was religious to me, so I used to upload that stuff, and this is before copyright music and any of that was a thing. So
did you put like Linkin Park? And
I absolutely fucking did.
The amount of times I've watched the one big upload of AMV Hell 3 that was uploaded to YouTube is just like uncountable.
Remember we used to call compilations cracks?
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, oh my God, I remember that. So yeah, no, I was uploading AMVs, and then I dwelled into, I don't know how, but somehow in my deep searching of like anime related stuff, I found visual novel openings, but I couldn't download visual novels because they were like really strictly just in Japan.
And they were fucking impossible.
But the
to download
openings
back
were
then, too.
available on YouTube, which I still have those saved on my current account today in private. But yeah, so then I found like all these websites, and I uploaded all of like the opening songs on that, and then they were all like hentai, so I got banned.
So you uploaded hentai onto Schoolgirl 101.
Yeah, I
Wait,
did.
Why did you pick the name Schoolgirl 101?
It's I promise it was nothing perverted. I thought it just sounded cool, and I was watching Zoe 101, and I went to school.
There it is.
I was trying to figure out where the 101 came
Yeah, because I was watching Zoe 101 back then, and I was a schoolgirl. But like when I look back, I'm like, fuck. Like,
I think one of my names is like Xbox Best Connor or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm the best at Xbox.
Yeah, no, the cringy using
that's like
it.
that's like the same logic I came
Honestly,
up with.
I'm glad that like I got that YouTube account got banned, but I'm kind of sad all those AMVs like just like went down like the shit.
All those Linkin Parks.
Yeah.
I know, it was like Evanescence and everything. I definitely went down that
so
route.
you Schoolgirl 101.
Yeah, okay.
And then
yeah,
you got
that all went away. And then I just watched YouTube from behind the scenes. Then one day I decided I wanted to do YouTube. I wasn't even at 1,000 subs. And because I was so close in that AMV community, I didn't know where anyone was anymore. So I was like, let me get in another community. Joey was the first one that I found that was closest to my age. And I thought that like he was really funny when he was playing Nekopara. So the very first message.
I bet you were so funny. I bet you were hilarious.
Love it. Watch it all the time.
I was like, put that one on.
I love that one.
So
What a classic.
it wasn't even like the first video of that Nekopara series, but when I was watching it, I just thought that you were really funny. So I was like, is YouTube DM still a thing? I've been gone a long time.
DMs.
Yeah. So
Oh my
That's how far back we're talking.
We're going far back now.
legit. Like, so I messaged him on YouTube and I
How many
said,
subs did Joey have at this time?
oh, not even like 10K, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
we were both
20,
very
30.
small.
No, I think I was like 20,
So
30K
Joey-
maybe.
Oh, okay.
You dated a fan?
So I messaged him.
Joey, the anime man exposed.
Yeah, but like, look, okay, so I'm from a part of YouTube where subscribers actually weren't really that big of a thing. Like,
I
it's
think
just
anything under like around that size, like 1,000.
Be a bit of a
Yeah.
different story if I had like 3 mil.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she had
yeah,
800,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's whatever. But like so I sent him a message and I said, I called you anime man, and I was like, so fucking weird. But said,
Cringe.
hi anime man. I saw your Nekopara video. Thought you were hilarious. Do you like doujins? If you want, let's read one together.
No, you
Signed
found
Aki.
this fucking Pokemon doujin of Gardevoir.
Yeah, and I just
And was like, we should read it on camera together. And I was like, all right. So I got
Yeah.
on a call with her.
No, hold on. But there's something in between.
Okay.
But like, because it was YouTube DMs, I was not expecting a reply because I was like, I think it was like 2014, 15. Times have changed, but my mind was so all the way back. But literally in an hour, you replied back to me and you told me that like later on that you had not really looked at your YouTube DMs until that night, and I was at the very top. And had you not seen it that night, this wouldn't.
It
have
was
ever
like
happened.
purely coincidental.
Yeah, and then after
Because
that,
who the fuck went through the YouTube? DMs?
exactly.
Yeah, right.
YouTube got rid of it. I think YouTube got rid of it now, right? You can't.
Yeah.
I think it still technically exists
Oh, yeah, it
somewhere.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Does it not?
No, they
I've
completely
tried to
I thought it
look.
was just buried. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't have.
You don't have an archive.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know if I want to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a message of "Hello, anime man."
I mean, that's the beginnings, though, right?
No,
Sure,
but
sure.
there's a video on his channel of where I still called him Anime Man. It's when we were playing Orange Juice 100.
some shitty
no, it's
anime
called
game.
Orange Juice 100% or something. I'm doing it for them. Like, it was, what was it called?
No, I don't want them to look at the video. I So I'm trying to be inconspicuous. There's some shitty anime game.
I don't know which one I'm talking about.
Mudan, don't put it on the screen. I swear to God.
But yeah, so we were just really good friends for like a couple years, and then he got trapped in Canada, and
Well, no, you gotta explain why I got trapped in Canada. You can't just say that.
Oh yeah, because then he
I lost my passport.
yeah,
I remember
he-
you telling the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his passport. He was really stressed, but I had no idea that you were in Canada. But this is like, we had been friends for a long time, and we had been calling so frequently. I was like, I'm gonna just tell him I like him. I don't even care. I'm gonna just get in a call. And that was then, like, you were still at your hotel, stressed out of your mind. I was like, I really like you.
I'd be like, now is not the time. I lost my passport.
Was there a process where you thought about this is the right time to tell him, or were you just like, he's
Fuck
stressed
it.
out of his mind right now?
I didn't know that he was in Canada. I didn't know that he was trapped there. I didn't know that you were like going through other shit. I was like, I'm gonna just tell him. Whatever.
What did you think?
I hadn't eaten in like 2 days. I was so stressed. And the first thing I get is like, I like you from Akidearest, and I was like, there's a Denny's down the road. Like, I'm fucking starving.
No, but then you know what's funny? You were so disoriented, and also like, so I don't know if anyone knows this, but I'm Joey's first girlfriend, like real girlfriend,
Like
I
proper
guess.
girlfriend,
Yeah, proper
yeah.
girlfriend. You had seen some other people in the past, but
But it was like high school relationships. Like, I don't count those.
yeah. So what was funny is I think he was so dense. Like, I literally said the words "I like you" a lot, and then he said, "Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying?" And then I said, "I think I said it." Like,
I am dead ass that dense like harem protagonist.
You like me? I don't know. What are you saying?
What are you trying to say right now?
What are you trying to say
I
right
was
now?
like, I think I said it. Like, yeah. So yeah, but from there, like, actually, like, I think we talked for like 10 or 15 hours like that day, and
Well, yeah, because I had nothing else to do because I was in my fucking Toronto
so I
hotel
was just a
room.
liability. That was a special moment for me.
I miss being like 19 and just being able to spend all day on a Skype call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We used to be able to do that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it was like with that group of friends where it's like, it didn't matter if nobody talked.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you were just on it.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the longest Skype call you guys have ever been in? 'Cause
Together or just ever?
just in general.
I think it was the
Legit
one with
with
her
you.
where I was in a Skype call for like 12 hours or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 12 hours. And then after that, I think when time came, like, you finally got back to Australia, and then we gave it time to think, and we're like, and we were both blowing up around like the same time. And
You
then
mean our channels were?
yeah.
Not us.
Sorry.
I can't hear the word blowing up without thinking about that meme with that guy. Is like, when I blow up, like, I don't know nobody.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
because no, it's cool. And then when our careers were like finally taking off, we just kind of got in a talk and said this isn't going to work, and we're too busy. And I don't know. I feel like we're.
Well, it's
both-
also because I was in my last year of uni at the time,
Yeah.
and I was
Right.
stressed out of my fucking mind because I'm like, if I don't knuckle down on this shit, I'm not going to graduate.
yeah.
I'm playing Corpse Party 18 hours.
Yeah. I can't be doing free translations for a Corpse Party visual novel. Like, I gotta fucking knuckle down. So like,
Yes. So
that
we-
was like, so at that point, like, I not only like ghosted you, I ghosted everyone on
Everyone,
YouTube
yeah.
for
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for
I
like
mean,
3 months.
Last year of uni do be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then in the meanwhile, I was just kind of doing my own thing. Fast forward though, AX comes around, and then we both message each other, and I think that was also like my Samurai Buyer video had just come out that day, and that's when you DM'd
Oh,
me.
good old
or
Samurai
something.
Buyer. You remember
And
that
then,
shit?
and then I
Yikes.
was, I guess we just got like this private talk, but I was just like, okay, yeah, we're going to AX. I'll see you there. And so we met, and yeah, I guess
That was
like,
AX 2016.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was like, I think watching you guys at AX, because this is before we even, like, did we speak at that point? I think so.
Don't think-
We spoke, but we hadn't met.
I think so.
think,
That was
yeah.
when I was like, I don't care. I'm going to AX next year.
Right.
I felt
Yeah.
so left out seeing how much fun everyone was having at AX. I was like,
Was that
I was
the
like,
AX I
bummed.
first met you, or was that the AX before that?
I think it was the
before, I think.
It was the AX before. Was it before? God, I don't
I
remember.
can't remember. It's
It might have been the one. No,
It was
it might have been that
2016
AX. It was
AX.
that. It was that AX. Yeah, was the
Okay.
first time
I
we
think
met.
my first one was 2017 AX.
yeah. So my one was 2015, I think 2016.
Yeah, because you've been a few times before me, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 2016 was the first year I met you and Jeff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. But I think I'd gone to one before that. I don't know if anyone else has gone.
No, 2016 was the first one.
it's like
I've gone to
fucking-
AX like every year since I was like 13.
I'm so jealous.
So
What?
you've seen the scene evolve over time.
It's honestly just been so fucking crazy. Like it's
What was the first year you went? Like what year?
I don't even know. I actually
Do
don't
you
know.
remember like how old you were roughly? Like,
I was maybe almost 14 or 15
oh my god.
Right.
years old. Yeah, I was 14 or 15. My first, and
AX 2013.
yeah,
Not even. It's like
that was back,
2010 or
and
something.
that was back then where like the line was big, but it went by fast. Like day zero wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Now seeing it nowadays, like I loathe day zero. Like I don't even
Line
want,
con.
Yeah, line con basically. So yeah, no, it's been crazy to see like just kind of the progression of things. And I used to watch videos of AX back in 2007, and if you look at any vlogs of AX of 2007, they will say, "Oh my God, it's like so packed here." Literally, it's just like
It's like 3,000 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was a lot back then, you know.
I mean, it's the PD Flow videos that you
Yeah,
watch,
yep,
right?
yep,
Because
yep,
I
yep.
watched exactly the same thing. Because
Yeah.
I remember back
So
in.
wait, who is this?
so okay, so oh sorry, no, go for it.
Okay, so it's basically a guy who seemed to be very influenced by Kasim G, like some, the
Good old
very-
Kasim G.
Good old Kasim
Yeah.
G.
Old YouTuber.
YouTubers. But what he would basically do is just he would go around AX every year and just vlog it and do interviews and stuff
Yeah.
in the Kasim G kind of style.
Oh,
And
right,
me,
so, like trying to like point them out to be kind of like more
yeah,
stupid.
yeah, exactly. And me, as a weeb growing up in like the mid 2000s, never been to a convention in my life, and especially the UK
Well, in
scene.
the UK, I mean,
No, exactly.
what do we
especially,
have?
especially in the UK scene, seeing these vlogs, this was like Mecca to me. You know,
Yeah.
I remember watching these vlogs, and I remember thinking, I'm gonna be there one
Dude,
day.
it
I'm gonna
was
be
like-
there one day.
It was legit like the greatest thing I had ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
okay, by the way, if you guys ever want to look at him, PD Flow, I don't know if you're still around watching this, but it's like PEEDEE.
It'll be on screen.
No,
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah,
on
yeah.
screen.
literally
Yeah.
PDFLO. I
Looking
think.
at the AX vlogs, I was like, this is blowing my fucking
I
mind.
think one thing I was always jealous of Americans is that like it just seems like they just accept any side of like weird culture.
Yeah.
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 And then in
I'd
the
say
UK
so.
and probably Australia as well, right? It felt that like if you were into stuff that wasn't like super normal, it felt like that
was
everyone would
bullying
treat you,
material.
like, weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
So,
AX
like-
brought money and money,
Yeah, but
money
like,
talks.
but like watching like being from the UK or Australia, watching American conventions or like seeing just the way that they treat nerd culture in general in the
Yeah.
US I was always so jealous. It's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I always wanted to move to the US. I mean, obviously now it's
Where
a very
would you
different
move?
place.
Yeah.
Well, I
Kids-
don't know.
kids have it easy today.
I didn't give a shit back then. I was like, I'll go anywhere, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Because back then, to me, America was like this whole like mystical place, and then obviously now,
Mystical place.
It was.
it was like a place where everyone could just do what they wanted,
Yeah.
and like
And-
everyone could like whatever they wanted.
Uh-huh.
And there's always a huge place to go if you liked a specific thing. There was
Yeah.
always a big convention of
Yeah.
like-minded individuals.
I think it's also because like, especially compared to like the UK, especially like America was just so much fucking bigger, right? So there's just it just felt like there was more stuff
and
there.
like, there was
Yeah.
like huge nerds and like otakus in the UK, but because you were just like looked down on.
It's
we
very
couldn't
niche.
we couldn't find each other. That was
Yeah.
the biggest thing because in America it seems like there was always a place for somewhere wherever you wanted to belong.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at AX or like all these con videos and thinking, man, God, I wish that was me. I look like I belong there.
Oh my God, I remember when I went to my very, very first convention and I just felt like this was right. Like I knew that this was where my heart was
I
supposed to be.
felt that too when I
Yeah.
went to a convention.
Yeah,
I was like, my people.
Because then it just like remember like back then like because we could not find each other, and even in the U.S. it was still like this. It was more online than anything. But when you found someone, it's like, oh, you like Naruto too, like oh my, and then you just instantly connect.
Well,
It's
in
like,
Australia, there wasn't even an online scene. Like,
I feel
Yeah.
like because like almost like in America, like I don't know if this is true, but like parents kind of like are more accepting of like weird hobbies.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
the kid. In the UK, man, my parents would give me shit.
yeah,
Right?
my parents were like that close
I
to
would
me.
I'd, like come down for dinner and be like, oh, it's the anime fan. Oh, okay.
yeah, my parents used to like be really kind of like weirded out about the fact I liked anime, but now my parents are very rare for their generation. They love YouTubers and streamers. They tell me shit that even like I haven't caught up to yet. Like yeah. Like they know literally everyone. And then so what's funny is like I'm logged into my YouTube account also on the one at home back in Vegas.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because of time zones. My mom checks to see if I got like a content like copyright claim, and she goes to my account and then
She's literally your manager.
Yeah, like she claims that for me, and then I wake up the next morning. I was like, Mom, did you claim this already? She's like, Yeah, I was just looking at
Meanwhile,
it.
my mom's like, "Who's your Swiss friend, PPD?"
Yeah.
My mum will occasionally go, and there's been a big YouTuber in the news. She'll be like, I heard this Logan fellow was in a forest. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Are you friends with Logan?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, my parents have definitely done their hardest to try and like keep up with the times.
My parents do try, but they're just too out of it.
Yeah.
Too
My
far
parents are the
gone.
same.
My, my parents have really changed since Trash Taste started because that's just given them so much content to watch. And now it's gotten to the point where every single clip and now we have like official and then unofficial clip streams as well.
Yeah.
And that's all been recommended to her. And she watches like way more content than I do now. I think. Just purely of like us, I guess.
Yeah, my parents are kind of just like, you know, we don't like support what you do. You just kind of do it.
Yeah. We don't support what you do, but you do your own thing. son.
No, my dad. No, my dad.
We do not support Joey and his job.
No, my dad's straight like in the Q&A that I did with my dad. My dad was straight up like, it's not, I don't really like support what you do. I just kind of let you do it. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
The only thing about having parents that are so in tune with what I do is like
That would annoy me.
It would annoy me, yeah.
Them giving me feedback about my thumbnails.
No, my dad doesn't
Okay.
give a shit about what I do, and yet he's still like, yeah, son, I didn't really like that video you made. And I was like,
same as my parents
I didn't
as well.
fucking make it for you. Like,
Yeah, no, and then, dude, my parents they used to, back when it was like used more. They looked at like Social Blades and stuff. Like they're very into like.
that's like a little too.
I don't
Yeah.
look at my own social media. I don't want my parents telling me
Yeah.
about it.
Oh no.
My dad he went through a point when he was just literally clicking and refreshing it. And I was just like, Dad, this is not healthy. Why are you doing this? Please
That's
stop.
kind of cute though. I don't know why. It's like, oh, I want to see you grow.
Oh man. Yeah, no. That's
I occasionally get my mum. She'll be like, "Oh, the last video didn't do as well as the other videos."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Mum, not everyone can be a banger. Come on,
Yeah.
Don't rub it in.
come on. I know it did bad. I don't need you telling
My
me."
dad would sometimes phone me and be like, "Son, last week you only grew like 1,000 subscribers.
Oh my god.
Normally you grow like 2,000. What's going on? What is your channel?
Is your
dying?
channel dying? Is your channel dying?
Is your channel dying? What's going on?"
Yeah, my dad right now, he's like having his own version of like, you winning, son. It's more like, oh yeah, your video doing well. Like it just every upload he just has to say something.
That's cute though. I like that they can.
This episode is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Guys, you know I love drinking water. Do it plenty on the podcast, plenty of pee breaks. And one goal I have for myself for the new year is just to stay hydrated. And I do that with my favorite hydration product, Liquid IV.
With one stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water, you get 2 to 3 times the amount of hydration as plain water. That's water optimized.
And they have incredible hydration flavors like watermelon, lemon, lime, passion fruit, and they've recently launched strawberry.
I like strawberry.
I do too.
Personally, I really like Liquid IV because I just like flavored water in general. So if
Yeah.
I can get extra hydration off of something I already enjoy in concept, then, you know, why
Honestly,
not?
you know when you wake up from a hangover and sometimes you drink so much water that the taste of water just starts to get sickening?
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually tastes really good and this would be perfect for a hangover day.
Honestly.
I do like the watermelon flavor, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, I like the watermelon flavor too.
One serving of Liquid IV provides the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water alone. And it contains 5 essential vitamins, more vitamin C than an average orange, and as much potassium as a banana. And it's healthier than sugary sports drinks, no artificial flavors or preservatives, and less sugar than an apple. Made with clean ingredients, non-GMO, vegan, and free gluten, dairy-free, and soy.
So you can grab your strawberry Liquid IV or their other great flavors in bulk nationwide at any Costco, and you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TRASHTASTE at checkout.
That's 25% off anything when you order and use promo code TRASHTASTE at liquidiv.com. Get better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code TRASHTASTE. Back to the episode. What are we talking about?
You said you didn't really want to be a YouTuber.
When?
Did you? I said that like earlier on. I mean, when I started YouTube, I mean, I didn't intend to be a YouTuber or anything like that.
I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, I don't
you
think
just
anyone-
kind of do it.
I don't think anyone just wakes up.
Because I just made this video because I thought I could make this funny video and I wanted to show my friends. So I was
Right.
like, I'm going to make this for me and my friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just put it
Yeah.
up, put it in a nice little package, and then I thought one and done. That's it.
I feel that's like the kind of secret formula to being a successful YouTuber, right? It's like people who start a YouTube channel with the intent of like, yeah, I'm going to be the fucking next PewDiePie. It's like, it never works.
And I'm curious, like, what made you want to
So
do that first video? What was your first video as well? Probably deleted,
That,
right?
that
Or
wasn't
is it-
like an AMV or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I remember. I think it's still on there. It's I was playing this visual novel of dramatical murder.
Oh, my.
And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's literally like a 5-minute clip of, because it was like during like the final scene of like me trying to get with like one
Just
of
heavy breathing.
Actually, it was it was. It's still on my channel. And it's me and my mic. It's me and my microphone. I was like, okay, guys, so I just got clear here. Let's see. Oh my god! It's like me just doing that the whole time.
Was it like the whisper scream, like, oh my god, guys?
Yeah. Because it was like 12 minutes. I think that made my first video, which was like
Because
Christmas
your parents
Eve.
were in the house. Right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So I was like,
what the fuck?
yeah. So I was super like, Minecraft YouTuber, and like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is happening right now. But yeah, so that was my first one, and then I knew I wanted to do YouTube once I got my first paycheck.
Right.
And
It's all about that dough, baby.
but that's true. So like,
I appreciate the honesty.
It's literally with anything. When you figure out that, oh my god, I can get paid for something, that
That
you
you
want
like
to do
doing,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, so there was a video. I'm not gonna say what blew up, but it blew up, and then I got my first paycheck, and it was $300. And I remember I felt like
The big dough.
No.
I mean, you say that, but at that time, that was a lot of dough.
That was a
for
lot of
anime
dough.
content.
True.
And what's weird is like, this is gonna sound like really cheesy, but I felt like I was at a crossroads here that $300 was perfect for the rest of my meals for college for the rest of the month, or that was the perfect amount to get lights and a better camera. So I went that way, and my mom was very concerned about the choice that I made. So, but I was like, you know what? Like, this is just money from YouTube. So if this doesn't work, it's not like it was my own money from work. I used to work in a movie theater. And then, once that happened, I remembered how much I loved making videos from like the Schoolgirl 101 account. And I was like, fuck. And then I just felt like this fire going on. And I was like, I want to do YouTube. I knew from that point, I wanted this to work. I was going to give myself a year to try and make this work. So what I did, and I guess it's questionable to some, but I told all my friends around me that you're not going to see me for a year. Like, because I want to do this. Because I had a part-time job. I was a full-time student getting my psychology degree, and I only had time for one other thing, and that was YouTube. So I did that, and then also I was in a relationship, and that person didn't want me to do it at all, and I had cut it. When we had I tried talking it out, and
anyone who would stop you from doing something you're passionate about
Yeah.
probably isn't the one for you.
No. And I knew right then and there that like YouTube was what I wanted from that moment on. And when he said he didn't want me to do it, I had no problems cutting it.
That's
way.
You're like, bye.
No, like, it was
understandable. Have a nice day.
No, just like, and also, I mean, it was a lot of pressure to try and balance a relationship out and, give it a year. I remember I would go to school, go straight to work, and then because I had to like come back at like midnight after the last showing, then I would work until like sometimes up until 7 a.m. on some videos.
I think back when you first start, you have like no problem working.
Yeah.
Because at the time, it's not like it's something new, right? It's only later on when you've been doing it for a while and you realize, holy shit, this is unhealthy as fuck.
You at the beginning you think, whoa, I'm getting paid to do something I like. Well, this is.
I'm just gonna keep going there.
This is just a life hack. I can do this forever.
Well, in psychology, we do say that like a job is when you say, I only got paid that much for doing all that. A career is when you say, wow, I got paid that much for just doing that. So I mean,
it's pretty true. Big brain.
Yeah, so there was that. Yeah, and so since then, like, YouTube's just had its ups and downs, but I've loved it ever since. I don't see.
You've been doing it for how many years now?
Probably
5,
like
6?
Maybe like 6.
When did you start? Like 2014, right?
I uploaded my first video 2014, but then
so that's what,
and then I blew up in 2015. I think.
I feel like since I met you, you're like. Perspective on YouTube has changed.
It has a lot.
Like, I feel like you were the one who was like the most grindy out of anyone I knew.
Yeah.
And then you like flipped the opposite, where like I never hear you talk about it, or like, and when you do, it's always like one big thing that you're working on.
I think it's because like, especially with personality, like you just, I don't know. So at some point, you just want to get grounded again, and you just realize YouTube isn't everything. It's still something I love to do, and now it is just my job, and now I don't really. that fire of me wanting to like, I want to grow as like a YouTuber. I'm already there. So I'm just like, now I just kind of want to go back to my roots. And that's why I just kind of like, just talk with like my other personal friendos.
Did that just happen like over time? Or was
over time, yeah. YouTube just does some weird stuff to you. I think fame does that a lot as well. And just like the pressure of being a personality, there's like now this whole part of my life that has nothing to do with what I do. And I think you already know like some stuff that I do in private, like just for fun.
Was there a point where you realized that, or was it something like that gradual that like built up?
I think it was a gradual thing. Because
I feel like if you're some people, love being in the spotlight and love having the attention on them, and then others I meet and they're just like they get crushed by it.
Yeah. Because I feel like some YouTubers who I've met who their YouTube is so intertwined with not only their job but their self-worth as well.
Yeah.
And
it's like if I'm not successful on YouTube, then I'm not successful as a person. Right?
I'd say though it was like the first time I started to feel like I was looking at it like a job was like really scary because I was like, am I losing my touch? I'm like, am I going to be a bad YouTuber now?
Yeah.
Because I'm not like thinking about it 24/7.
Yeah.
For the first few months, I was really struggling to like kind of just understand that like it's okay to like not think about this all the time.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like I have a pretty healthy balance with it where I honestly don't really think about it that much. I kind of plan what I need to do.
I think it also helps as well that like, especially you and I have really like gone down in terms of like how sporadic we upload. Cause like we used to upload way more frequently than
I
we do.
used to try and do 2 a week. And that was
I used to be
like-
daily, dude.
Yeah, daily is like, I don't know how you do that, but
I went from daily to weekly. Yeah, so
Fucking psychos right here.
Because
You used to upload daily as well, right? Or
No, I didn't. I used to
okay.
upload just 3 times a week. That's it.
just 3 times.
just 3 times.
It really wasn't that bad. I mean, Joey at the time, like you did upload daily. I was like 3 times a week. And
But that was what YouTube wanted back then.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
3 times a week I don't think would work now. Or it would be unoptimized.
Yeah, I think I'm at a point now, like,
Not min-maxing.
I think I'm at a point now where like I just upload like once a week or
I
whatever.
think the audience has changed. I think audiences would just rather get something. Well, I think 2 weeks is kind of long, but 1 week, just a good video once a week, and it seems to do the job.
Pretty much. And
because
then-
it's so saturated now.
There's so
yeah,
And there's so
and
much
it gives
choice.
me a lot of time to just live my life rather than because YouTube's kind of weird. I feel like people kind of go on either side of the spectrum. It's either like the business versus like the artist. If you are too far into the artist, then you kind of lose focus on like how your business is doing. And some people don't care about that, which is fine. But then you get people who like care about the numbers way too much, and then it kind of integrates into their life and their self-worth, and even just the people that they hang out with. Like unless they're a big YouTuber, I won't hang out with them, kind of thing.
I've definitely.
That's weird.
I'm definitely. It's sad because
No,
I've
but
seen both
we
sides.
both.
like that.
And
Yeah.
I think it's just like that side. Like I've seen that so frequently, which is why like I'm like, okay, I don't want to fall into that. So I decided to back up and just make my own private
It
life.
like really infuriates me when I've had people who I thought were good friends, and then maybe I like introduce them to one of my friends, and they're not like a YouTuber, and they'll be like, I don't care who they are.
I think that's the biggest tell for me, where especially because whenever we travel or something like that, we always try to bring our friends with us, right? Even if they're not YouTubers or doing something else.
Even if they're peasants, we bring them along. It's fine.
There's
It's
normies, there's commoners.
Imagine working in an office job. I'm joking.
No,
guys.
but like sometimes you do
I
got.
used to work at the BBC.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I didn't mention it. You did.
I mean, like we always hear it as like kind of a joke, but it's true. Sometimes I hate saying it like this, but remember the little people, but more like remember your roots. Go back to that, and like
I just think because normally YouTubers tend to hang out with other YouTubers because like the lifestyle is similar.
yeah,
and
I
the
mean, like
working
you're just
hours.
there, and that's fine. Like
Yeah.
you can make YouTuber friends. I just don't like it when people like it's
Only have
obvious.
YouTuber
Only
friends.
have
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
obvious. Like it's so obvious a lot of the times where it's like, oh hi, like when they start like sucking another big YouTuber's dick so hard, like to the point, it's just like, then the point, like what is the point of that friendship if all you ever want is just like your friendship only exists on YouTube, but if it doesn't exist like outside of YouTube, then it's like
For me, like the telltale sign of that might be happening with someone that I know is when the only times they will ever DM me is for a YouTube
for a
collab.
yeah, is when
Yeah.
they,
And that's where I'm just like, ooh,
when they just-
okay, like you don't give a
Yeah.
shit about me at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
I've had a few few messages where it's like it's really obvious that the only time they message is when they need something, which is also why I very rarely do collabs on my channel. The people I've done collabs on my channel is people like I genuinely had like a connection with, because I'm very much a person that will show their emotions on camera, because I'm not going to fake anything. So like for example, just recently I just collaborated with Charlotte and Emma, but those are two people that I've been friends with for years, and just recently have I felt comfortable enough to actually do a video with them. So that's, if anyone wanted to know why I don't collaborate with that many YouTubers, that's why. And it's also the introvert in me. Any introvert will understand that like we keep the people, like we're very picky with people, but the people that we do pick, we keep very tightly with us.
You're very much like the opposite to me on that. I'm like,
same.
I'm like, hell yeah, come on, let's go hang out.
But like and that's fine. Like I just, you know, it's so for me it's easier because then I just know like what people I already know want to hang out like at night. But when there's too many people, I feel like, man, I got to balance everyone out, and then I don't like, it's too many people.
It's hard to maintain. A
little bit, just for me.
I just hope that like, you know, the people I make friends with, that like, you know, they don't expect me to like
the actual friends.
Like
they don't expect anything out of it other than your friends.
Like they understand if we're both busy, you know. I don't know. Like I don't know.
It's not about like, you know, I'm friends with this person to get something out of them. Right?
Exactly. Because for me, I don't do collabs on my channel at all, or that's just because my content I felt doesn't really lend well to collabs, especially since like it's very scripted content. So I just want to hang out with people. I don't care. I'd like never care about the collabs. That's never in my mind. I just like meeting new people.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, I've probably only collabed with like half the YouTubers I actually have become friends with. That's just purely because some YouTubers I know where it's like, it doesn't matter how much I bend this concept of like anime content. There's just no way I can integrate their personality, what they're about, into the content. And you know, nothing against the YouTubers I know. It's just how the content is.
Not even against collabs, because you know, watching you guys collab, I'm just like, man, that seems kind of fun.
It is fun. It's really fun. And there's a part of me where it's like, I really want to be able to like make content that I can literally get any type of YouTuber onto. But because I fucked myself over with what I've called myself. So like I can't really, you know, just do like a fucking outfit of the day shit and bring on like, you know, just a female YouTuber, right? So
because one of the biggest things I worry about as well is just the chemistry, because sometimes I see people collab and like, you know, that's you can tell on camera that that's the first time they've ever hung out. Really had a IRL conversation.
Exactly.
I actually recently did a video where I got my fortune told in Japan, and I saw that video. And there's like two things that are happening. So I show like the actual raw footage of me talking to the fortune teller. I had never met her before in my life, so my introvertedness actually came out in that, where I only said like one-word answers. But to be fair, I was also listening because she had a lot to say. It was a lot for me to process. But then there's the part of me that's like in my room where I was actually very outspoken. And I think I even said in that video, I'm like, yeah, you're looking at two different Akis here. That Aki right there is actually the introverted one, and I'm just listening. The one
that's the real Aki.
No, but and then the one that you're seeing right now is just my thoughts, and I'm comfortable to get them out right now.
Yeah, because I think when we hang out, it's like very different to when we hang out and there's someone else there who you don't really know.
Pretty much. And then that's with like anyone that like, you know, when there's someone that's new, I mean, again, like I've learned this in psychology, but you tend to look at the person that you're most comfortable with, even if you're talking to someone else. It's like, you guys went to that park, right? Okay, like eye language says so much about it, and I'm definitely someone
I love making eye contact right away. I'm just like, hi,
with no other expression.
I actually had to learn how to make eye contact, because
it's a skill. I think it's a skill.
As a kid, as like a socially awkward kid, I'd be talking to someone and be like, yeah, how's your day going? Yeah, it's
I have
good.
no idea where I learned social skill. How do you learn that shit? I swear I was terrible.
I don't know.
I think you just like, especially when you become an adult, you're forced to, because like if you're that one like adult where you just can't maintain eye contact.
I couldn't talk to anyone as a kid. Like I was terrible.
Yeah, I never learned. Like I've never talked to someone and been like, I have to keep looking into their eyes.
I have.
Really?
Actually, there's been one anime that's been airing this season, and it's like
anime.
Where we go? We just need to remind you guys that this is an anime podcast.
This is no, because it's like relevant to me, and that's why I really I'm watching it. And it's like, I think it's like Jaku or something like that is a bottom tier character. And it's about this like pro gamer who has like zero social skills, and he meets like this hot anime girl. It's like a harem rom-com, but the premise is that she teaches him social skills like they're a game. So like
she gamifies it.
She
Like a quick
gamifies.
time event. Look at their eyes. Press X.
No, exactly. She's just like, okay, so this person brought up X topic, and that like really defined the flow of this conversation, and it really like broke down like social skills and social circles and like gamified them, and that was like really interesting to me because that's basically what I had to do in university because I was just like, this is not natural to me. I've got to fucking engineer this shit, and then it became second nature along the way. But like, I needed those training wheels. When I was learning it because I was like that socially awkward as a kid.
But that's like a cool way to learn it, right? Like because it's like it's a concept that you can kind of understand.
I think there's a healthy way and an unhealthy way to go about it because some people just like take this and like gamify it too much that they just kind of become a robot. And I feel like it's healthy.
It's like look at this person and then look at this person and then look at this person again.
It's just helpful. I mean, it's just helpful. It's like it's kind of like training wheels.
Eye contact is hard. Like too little, and then you're like, talk to me, and too much, it's like. Whoa.
I've met those people where it's like hard eye contact that just they don't even blink. I'm just like that's it's like I'm talking to an android.
You just occasionally look right, look away, look back.
Yeah.
Depending on what's happening. You know?
Exactly.
Who teaches this shit? How do I learn this shit?
No one does. No one does teach it.
You know what's one thing that drives me insane that some people do and some people don't do? Let's say we're all here, right? And then, let's say Aki brings a friend into the group. It drives me insane when the person who brought the friend in doesn't introduce them to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm waiting. Who is this person? You're gonna that awkward? I feel awkward for them.
I've had times where because that person didn't do it, I've had to awkwardly go up to them and be like, "Oh, I'm Joey, by the way."
Yeah, I don't have to be. Who are you, by the way? You should be like Aki, Connor, Aki. Do you know one of right away? Do it right away.
Do you know one of the biggest things that I found is important, even though I never thought about it as like a kid? The handshake. Now that we've gone through met so many people, you can judge so much about a person by just their handshake.
The confidence which they whip out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's an entire process and an entire science behind it. And then sometimes someone whips out like the weakest handshake, and you're not looking forward to this handshake.
It is like the slimiest, coldest, wet hand.
Or when they just do this and they're just waiting for you.
Yeah. And sometimes you just feel like you're grabbing like a dead piece of meat, and you're just like, hello, how are you?
I love it when the strength comes out. They turn their body slightly. Like,
the shoulder needs to come out.
That's how you know they're like keen for the handshake.
Honestly, if you want to make a good impression, handshakes are so fucking OP. Yeah. Right? they are. They really are.
The strongest ones that I've learned is like the shoulder out front, a little bit. But also going in while maintaining eye contact like that. But don't even look at the hand.
That's what my dad did to you the first time he met you.
But
that was more of like saying a message when he did it like this, like just shake. If I was like my dad and you were Joey, it's like.
He like whipped the hand out. I was like, oh fuck, I have to catch this.
And then after that I remember like that my dad, he boxes, and we have also like a sandbag in our garage, and then like Joey's just like, you want to see the my new sandbag, and he fucking punches the shit out of it. He's like, oh, it's pretty good, huh? Yeah.
And I was like, maintain eye contact.
My life's kind of weird, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I remember. I'll never. Can I tell a story of when I had dinner with your family without you?
Is it London?
Yeah,
oh my lord!
Can you imagine how
okay.
It's just, I had dinner with Aki and a whole family without Aki there.
Wait, can you please give them context?
I will. Okay. So,
I wasn't invited to my own family's dinner.
So Aki's family was staying in a hotel in London, but I think it was quite. Hotels in London are very expensive.
But I wanted to give it as a gift for them.
Yeah, so they were staying in Bank, quite a nice area of London, quite posh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, these two are just staying at my house.
At Garnt's place.
Brighton. So like, not even in the same city. Quite far away. It's like the airport was Gatwick, so it's like 30 minutes up, 30 minutes down.
Yeah, so I had Connor kind of helping my family get there.
I felt so bad because it was like in the middle of July or August. July.
It was during the heat wave.
Yeah, it was a heat wave, and I took them on the underground, on the Central line, which is basically like the Yamanote line. I took them on the worst, busiest train with all of their luggage. It was so hot, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I could tell Aki's dad was like having a mental breakdown because it was so hot. He had so much luggage,
and there's no AC in the.
My dad also has a really bad back as well.
Yeah, he was losing it. And I was trying to help carry as much luggage as I can. I'm like, you good? You want to hydrate?
You will not.
So like
It's the central line.
man.
So I took them all the way to their hotel, and I think as thanks they were like, let's invite Connor out for dinner. So I just had a dinner with Aki's family.
Meanwhile, Aki and I chilling in Brighton where Garnt was.
Yeah, Joey was like on my hammock or something.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
Yeah,
It was just a
no.
I
weird-
can't imagine.
Yeah, I remember Connor texting me. He's like, "I'm so sorry." My mom's watching this too. Like,
hello.
Hello.
like
Your dinner-
she-
your food is lovely that you prepare for me.
but yeah, no, I remember he was texting me, being like, "Dude, I feel so fucking."
But your
Yeah.
mum's always so nice to me, so she always made me feel really welcome. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like-
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Your
like-
mom's nice to everybody, I feel.
Yeah,
Like,
she is.
It's very hard to piss your mom off.
Your parents are always super open and super nice.
Yeah, I like the way they are.
I like
I don't know what to say.
I like my parents the way they are.
Your parents are just like, if you're a friend of Aki, you're part of the family.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and even more kudos if you're a YouTuber or streamer, because like at the moment they find that out, they'll keep like. Did you guys watch?
They'll be like,
Harry-
give me your analytics
But no,
right now.
no. Like, did you guys watch
Fill your
Harry
lunch, you got
Potter? Like,
Sorry?
did you guys watch Harry Potter? You know, Ron's
course.
dad like being really obsessed with like Muggles.
Yeah.
That's my parents like with YouTubers and streamers. Like that's like.
So it's a different breed
Oh
of
my
human.
god! I
these.
remember like that my mom she texted me being like, "Oh my god, Belle Delphine is back," and I was like, "What?" Like,
I watched your sex tape.
yeah. She was like, "How do you think her OnlyFans is going?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't care, dude." Like, yeah. So my parents are very like on point. But-
I feel that whole like welcoming side of your parents, especially though, like I feel ties in with like kind of how the Filipino like mentality.
Yeah, so
right?
my family, funny enough, we actually are all introverts, but when you meet them, you wouldn't think so. It's mainly because if you're a friend of mine, then they'll more than be happy to open up.
but like,
to
I
you.
feel-
Mom kept giving me food. I was like,
That's just a
That's-
Filipino
that's
thing.
just a Fili- that's a
Southeast
Southeast
Asian.
Asian.
I was
Southeast
like,
Asian.
I was in AX and her mum was checking up on me more than my mum was. I was like, what's going on here?
I don't know what it is about Southeast Asian parents, just families, where they try to solve every fucking life problem
Yeah.
by offering food. It's
Aki's,
just like-
Aki's mum has bought me more underwear and socks than my own parents have. That says a lot.
Yeah, my mom, she always like delivers just some stuff from overseas, and she always gets like 6 bags of like Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Like every time when I was a kid and I'd visit my family, I'd either be like, "Oh, you don't seem like you're eating well. Here, have more food. Oh, are you feeling well? Here, have more food. Oh,
And
you're
it-
not feeling well. It's because you haven't eaten. Have more
Yeah, yeah,
food."
yeah. And if you're fat, then they'll just be like, "Oh, you're getting so fat. Eat."
Right?
Yeah, which is weird. You know, like I don't know if it's like in any other family. I just noticed with a lot of Asian families, being called fat is a good thing because it means that you're being.
You're being fed.
That's
well.
Yeah, you're being
I
fed
feel
well.
that's a specifically Southeast Asian thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, you're so fat now. Oh my god, do you have a boyfriend? Like it's so it's always
Because that's not how it works in Japan. Like even
Yeah.
if you lose weight or like gain muscle, you're like, damn, you got fat. I was like, I just gained muscle, but all right, thanks. Thanks for
Yeah.
destroying my self-esteem.
That's,
like
that's
that.
definitely one thing about Asian culture that's like very different from the West, where people aren't afraid to comment on other people's weight.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, where it's a very like, you know, it's a very sensitive topic in like if you comment on someone else's weight in England or the US especially, but here in Asia it's a free for all.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like we're just saying what we're seeing, right?
yeah,
It's like-
yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, you just meet like the amount of family reunions or family gatherings I've been to, sorry, and people just the first thing they say is like, "Damn, you're getting a bit fat, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Ma, I'm fucking thin as fuck. What are you talking about?"
I remember.
Literally the thinnest guy.
I remember I went when we were staying at Garnt's place, and then like I don't eat spicy food, which I know is like really blaspheming in Southeast Asia.
It is.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, but I remember like your mom was gonna make us food, and then she asked like, "Is there anything that Aki can't eat?" And you said, "Oh, she can't eat spicy food." And then she's like, well, "I'm making curry. What do I do?" Like, what the fuck? So she tried to work around it, and it was like those amazing fucking spicy
Your
noodles.
mom,
I don't know what the
like,
name of
like
it is.
Garnt's mom dead ass came up to me and was like, I have never made a Thai curry without chili. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna taste good at all. Like,
was
I've
still-
never
it was-
done this before.
Yeah, it was still really good. I had never had like those like what is it like those noodles and you.
It's
dip
like
them-
a Southeast Asian.
What's it called?
It's like a rice noodle.
You don't-
right?
Yeah, it's like a rice noodle.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name right now.
It's fucking good.
Thai people are fuming right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not vermicelli. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's even the English name of that?
I don't know.
Rice noodles, right?
It's
No,
like
not
these
glass
like
noodles.
it's just like these piles of like noodles and then you just take them and dip them in the curry. I think.
I don't know. It's on the screen. Mudan, you can figure it out.
I don't know. I don't know what
I'm
it is,
white.
but
Every Southeast Asian is just like,
Fuck! Oh, I'm failing my own language.
I don't know at what age I realized there was more than one type of noodle.
Wow.
Yeah, how did you like as a white man, as the token white
See,
man?
like I feel like your view of noodles was like my view of bread. Because like for me, every bread was just the same. I'm sure I'm saying this, and everyone in Europe just like dies a little.
What? Bread is so varied.
Yeah,
I think there's definitely way more types of bread than there are noodles, though.
No.
Yeah, there is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're gonna have to. Ashley, can you look up to see if
There is
there are
more
more
types
types
of
of
bread
bread
than
than there are types of noodles?
100%.
I think there are more types of noodles.
No, there is not.
We'll figure that out. It's,
No, pasta is
No,
not.
pasta's not. Pasta's not.
It's not a noodle.
Yes, I'll have a noodle bolognese, please.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least you don't try to eat it with chopsticks.
We're going to start World War III with that one coming up.
Yeah, we should stop talking
I miss
about
it
food.
more,
We
but-
should stop talking about food. So, you mentioned your real name at the beginning of
I
this
did.
episode, right?
Yeah, my name is Agnes.
Is there anything?
Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah.
My name is Agnes.
You're saying it like an android. Like, my name is Agnes.
For the record, not even my family calls me that. So that's why I also didn't come out with it, because it was,
Who cares?
yeah, who cares?
Yeah. But like, what is there like anything else? I mean, I guess we're just gonna dedicate this trash taste to like new things that Aki's never said.
107 things you
Didn't know about Akidearest.
Oh, God. Okay. I don't even know where to start. I mean, like, I was mentioning earlier, I could probably talk about the fact that I was in military school for like, or military class for like 4 years. And that
What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
So it's called NJROTC, Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, and
God
it's
damn, that was drilled into you, man.
Yeah.
How many times did you have to repeat
Wait, so
that?
what's the purpose of this?
it's when you want to go into the military, and so when
You
you
want to go into the military?
yes,
Oh, okay.
to fight for their country, but yeah.
I noticed that's a very American thing. It's
Yeah.
because like I feel like in
very
England,
patriotic.
Yeah, it's very patriotic
Yeah.
because in England nobody talks about wanting to go to the military.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
people
almost
just find
did.
themselves in there.
You rarely hear about kids who are like 15, 16 who want to go in the army
Yeah.
unless their parents are in it.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I remember when I came out on Twitter, I was just like, oh, you know, because my mom had showed me like this old photo album, and there was one of me in high school in my dress blues. That's the term for the uniform. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, you know what? I never actually came out about that, and that was like a huge part of my life.
So, what age do you start that?
When the moment you hit high school, you can do it.
So
And
what do you have to do?
decide to do that, or do your parents decide?
I did.
Well, because you, from age like 14,
Yeah.
you like decided I want to join the military.
So I did not
That is
join.
so American.
No. Okay, so my reason for joining wasn't exactly for like the most patriotic reason. It was because had a crush back in high school. He was part of it, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, like it's pretty cool in here." And then I joined, and it didn't work out, but I stayed because I
Okay.
actually started to like it.
Literally join the military to impress a boy.
Yeah, I know, right? No, it was weird. So when I came out about it on Twitter, I had like this huge imposter syndrome. No one expected that of me, but
like, you're not like, so you can join this thing, but you're not like, you don't have to join the military.
no.
Like,
Well,
it's just-
okay.
it's
So
like-
the one that I took in high school, which by the way, mine was actually the strictest in the entire country. This isn't just me saying it. Like you can look it up. But like when you can join military if you want, and you get credited more, like when you join ROTC in university or go to military academies. So
it's like an extracurricular
yeah,
activity?
but basically.
All right.
But you get credited really well, especially at the one that I went to.
So like, how many hours a week would you do for it?
Well, the average high school student has 8 classes. ROTC is part of that schedule, plus another one, so I had 9 classes.
So what do you have to do in military school?
Oh God. So a lot of people have misconceptions that like you have to learn how to fight and use a gun or whatever, but that's not for high schoolers.
Was it like super strict? Did you have
It's
to
a
wake up
very-
at a certain time?
So it's a very disciplining thing. It's not for everyone. A lot of people get out in their first year. I stayed for all 4. But basically, like, so you have like once or twice a week you have to wear your uniform, and yet it has to be completely perfect. They look at every crease and fold. Like you had to iron it well. Like every time I put my hair up in a bun, they had to check for a little flyaway. So that shit had to be like gorilla glue down, you know? Which I
Put
didn't
some
do.
gorilla glue on that
Which I didn't do.
You saying this makes so much sense because
Yeah.
like we hang out like outside of this, and
I think
like,
this has caused me to have the biggest resting bitch face ever.
and like there will be certain moments where you go into what I call Aki mum mode.
Yeah.
Right? where, you know, everyone else is a fucking monkey and then you're just like there and you're just there to sort shit out.
Yeah.
And it's when something goes wrong, you're just like, okay, mum mode activates.
Yeah,
and you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to sort that out.
Yeah.
Hearing this makes so much sense now.
Pretty
She
much.
walks into a room and is like, "There's not enough discipline in this room. Time to slap it in."
The program I was into, it's an extremely disciplining course, and you get credited a lot back if you go into university.
So what's like a typical day?
So in the school, you have to like go through inspection. So you all march outside, and then you stand at attention, and you have to just like you have to learn the art of not showing any expression, and then you have to sound off. So someone comes in front of you, the drill inspector, and then or instructor, and then he asks you a question, and then you have to yell it in his or her face and say, "Sir, ma'am," and answer the question that he had. If you stutter, then you get chewed out a lot. It's a very disciplining thing. They're so for example, in front of me, like you would shit your pants every time, like when it was inspection first thing in the morning. So if I had a girl in front of me, I'd be so nervous. I'd say like, "Good morning, sir," and then she'd chew me out a lot.
Chewing out as in like just screaming.
Oh
in your
yeah,
face.
chewing out is the term that we use when you're getting yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
So and then along with, I don't know if any other ROTC course ever did this in high school as well, but I did train also for 4 days every year at USMC, United States Marine Corps in San Diego, and that's with real drill instructors where you have to go into the barracks, you get pushed.
So bizarre.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm telling you,
what
I
the
had a
fuck?
huge big imposter syndrome, and I can't believe I never came out about this on the internet. But
Because it just completely goes against your
who-
personality.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I told you, there's a whole different part of my life that has nothing to do with this.
Because all I think of when it comes to like military class is like, you know, that scene in fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the dude's just like fucking yelling at them.
I honestly thought to make a video of me reacting to military movies and like ROTC movies just to see if they're accurate enough. But like,
Ex-military professional reacts.
so I'll just tell you this, like being at USMC, you're never gonna get like more verbally abused than like having 4 Marine instructors.
So-
Yeah, I can imagine.
So what?
When did you decide you weren't going to join the military? Then?
That was
Because if you completed all 4 years, I guess how many, what percentage of the class that completed 4 years went on to join the military?
Wait. Everyone that enlisted, like how many got?
Like how
Yeah.
many? Like
How many
that-
ended
that
up going
finished,
to the
like,
military?
Actually went to the military.
I'd say like at least like maybe half.
Huh?
Yeah, it was 50-50 because the thing is like when you're
Sounds
in
like
this
university,
program.
it's like 4 years. You figure out you don't like it.
Yeah, well, no, because like people join this program not just to join the military. It's because it looks very good on your resume. So like you can literally do a lot of things just by saying that you even did this in the first place. Because
right.
it's literally like not for everyone.
It's like doing like, you know, Duke of Edinburgh, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just looks good on your resume.
yeah.
That's what they said.
I'd
Yeah, that's
say-
what they said.
I'd
but-
say like when I first joined, every friend that I made, I'd say I only had one friend left by the end of it.
Did you enjoy it?
You know what? You feel actually a sense of accomplishment when you do it,
That
especially.
doesn't sound like you enjoy it.
Yeah, no, like it's.
I don't feel a sense of accomplishment for things I enjoy.
So like if when you're in it, like every day of your life, you're like shitting your pants, like not wanting to get yelled at, and it's like I really hope I don't fuck up, like shining shoes and all that, like, and just the physical and mental,
I
like.
just don't know why people would want to do this.
It's because
Yeah.
it makes you because you toughen up, and I feel like people are a lot stronger.
There's
than
other
they
ways
think.
to toughen up. I
No,
feel
but
like.
like-
It's a learning
So like
experience.
yeah, it's a learning experience, and I feel like in any other situation, people would call what I went through abuse, but like you go in like and with the possibility of going to the military, and you have to be strong. So in order to do that, you're pushed to your limits.
I've met some people who joined because they felt like they needed someone to like guide them, like tell them what to do,
Yeah.
and get their
Yeah.
shit together.
Pretty much, and it's not for someone who doesn't like being told what to do. I can tell you that.
Obviously.
Yeah, and the actual Marine Corps base, I remember like you'd be yelled at for like pretty much the entire day. Then you'd go to bed at like midnight, and you get to sleep for 4 hours, and that's the only time of peace that you have to yourself. And at 4 a.m, the drill instructors like come banging on the door, and then they like rip your sheets off, and then they tell you to get up, and you have to stand at attention, but you're like all dizzy and stuff. And then by the time I ranked up to chief petty officer, which I guess it's just high ranking, I got to be one of the people to chew out other like cadets.
That would have been fun.
You know what?
How
All
did
of
that feel?
so satisfying. so yeah, I went through like 3.5 years by this point being yelled at, and then now you get to be the person to yell at other
Making
people.
a bunch of psychopaths, aren't we?
So basically, like we'd have like our I guess like a platoon leader, we'd be lined up in front of the door of like our assigned cadets, and then she'd like whisper and count to 3, like, and then on 3 you all have to like smash the door and get open, and then just
You
go
basically
ham.
like fucking Kool-Aid man that
Essentially,
shit.
yeah, that's essentially what I did, and I made a few people cry at that. So I'd like
Why are
get
you so
up.
proud? What the
Yeah, because
Like, yeah, fuck
Is
them
that like a
up.
badge of honor that you wear there?
but it's because like it's so unexpected when you first meet me. you
Achievement
don't-
unlocked, course trauma.
Yeah.
we got 3 criers in here. Let's see. Cry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to see your medals or achievement. How many people you made cry? How many kids you made cry?
Yeah. So no, I don't know. It was a learning experience, and again, it's not for everyone. But once you're done, like you're at least proud that you did it.
That's that. You know what that equivalent is? That's the equivalent of like being like the youngest in high school and you having to like wait for the seniors to go on the bus first.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when you become the senior, you're
That's
like out of
exactly
the way,
what-
kids. I waited 5 years for this shit.
That's exactly what that is.
All I'm thinking is, you must have really fucking liked this boy. What the like?
I mean, like I was a freshman. I was like 14 or 15. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
still, even if there was like the girl of my dreams and she's like, finna go to the army. You want to come? I'd be like, I'm good. I'm good.
I don't
right?
know about that
Yeah,
one.
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
good.
really like told properly like how strict ROTC was, and I didn't realize that we were the strictest in the entire country. But then,
But you would have figured that out like first couple of times.
Yeah,
right?
but then I
the kind of
stayed.
person who's like, I'm gonna do it and ask questions after.
Yeah, no, I am. And when I was experiencing it, like I stayed because I was like, I don't know, I actually really like this.
What did you like about it?
I don't know, because like it's really pushing you to your limits. To rank up, you have to do well in academics, and you have to
Yeah.
do well in physicals, and you have to completely like pass it with flying colors if you want to get to the rank that I did, which took 4 years.
So you say you got into this because you liked a boy.
Yes.
Was there like a point or a moment when you like in your first
This
year
boy isn't worth it.
in your first year when you just had this realization of, oh shit, this is what I've gotten myself into. Fuck me.
Oh yeah, no, that was like in the first day.
I feel like
And yet you were like 4 years easy.
I feel like without people like you, we wouldn't have raves because you're the kind of person who would turn up to something like, well, I guess I got to do it now.
Yeah.
No one likes the rave when they turn up, and I just leave. But
You know what's funny? When I was 18,
I'm committed. I'm here now.
you know
Yeah.
what's funny? When I was 18, I actually held a rave. That was during a very different Aki time.
Where?
My house.
What?
You
Yeah.
held a rave in your house?
Yeah.
Parents would execute me on
Yeah.
the spot if they found that
Sounds
out.
like
Yeah.
an American Pie plot there or something.
That was a very crazy party. But yeah, I think nowadays I have my other fellow cadets I went with. Like they send me DMs and they still call me by my last name. We never call each other by our first names. And they're just like, holy shit, like you're on YouTube. And meanwmeanwhile, like
I do that too with like my
Oh, really?
bill provider.
yeah, have any of your friends?
That's my tax.
Yeah, with my tax.
Have you
Also.
guys ever like seen like messages from like people that you didn't even talk to, like that recognize what you do now?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I actually got one message of this this person who I hadn't talked to since school, and she's a teacher now.
Yeah.
So last time I met her was like years and years and years ago, and she messages me out of the blue to be like, "Yo, I haven't talked to you in years, but can you do me a small favor?" And
That's never a good sign.
Yeah.
and she asked me to record a message for her students, because apparently her students were like big fans of me.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. You can be the cool teacher for your kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you on it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have this.
Right.
And so I record the message, and apparently after that, she was the cool fucking teacher. So
Yeah, it's so bizarre because like ever since like during uni when I was doing it, like I never told my uni friends or high school friends that I was a YouTuber. So like when I got all these messages on Facebook from like high school friends that I haven't seen in like fucking 10 years almost, them being like, "Yo, I saw you on YouTube the other day. I've been watching you for a while." I'm like,
what'd you say to that? How
I
did you
was like-
react to this?
I was like, thanks, but also, hey, it's been 10 years. Like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, like how do you react to that?
Would you guys go to your high school reunion?
yeah.
I don't know.
My high school was tiny, so like I felt like I was pretty good friends with most of them.
Right.
Yeah, my house. I think I had like 30, 40 people in my year.
Yeah,
It was
in sixth
really,
form, I
really
had,
small.
Like 20.
I had like 800. So
Christ, big English.
You had more people in your class than we did our entire school.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
my school was attached to another school, which was an
Right.
English speaking school. And I think one of their years was nearly the same size as our whole school. It which is just
our entire school I think had like 600 kids, and
yeah,
there's 6
something
years.
around that. Yeah, something around that.
And we were considered one of the biggest schools too.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Australia really be
Australia all over the place with that shit. I don't know, like, because do reunions happen every 10 years? Is it?
Yeah,
I think
10
it
years.
is.
Yeah,
Isn't it
it's meant
up
to be 10 years.
Who arranges these? You know,
So I
in the movies-
recently looked at like to see if my school was doing one,
Right.
and usually it's on
Where
your,
are you looking? Where
your
do you
school,
find it?
your school's website, and there is a specific section for
Your school
alumni.
has a website?
Yeah.
Yeah, our school had a website.
Oh
My
really?
school has a
My
website.
school
My
has
school
like a
does.
section like that says
Think of the
alumni.
budget.
Yeah, I've always wondered like, is it like someone from the year, or is it like one
It's
of the
school.
teachers,
It's
or
the school.
Actually,
I don't think it is, though.
my
I think
high
it's
school,
I think it's by students sometimes.
my high school reunion, which I couldn't go to because I was busy at AX.
yeah?
busy partying.
Yeah, I was just in LA.
I was busy in LA at AX, but it was sorted out by one of the people in my class. So it wasn't
Yeah.
even the school that sorted my one.
Because it would be, because for me it would be next year, 2022 would be
Well,
10 years.
I imagine
That's
back
scary,
when high
fucking
school
hell.
reunions were a thing, it served a pretty good purpose, which was you could actually see these people who you hadn't seen in 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
it's like, well, I've got everyone on Facebook and I see their Instagram photos.
Well, like even if you have some, even if you have
That's true,
someone
but
on
I feel
Facebook,
like I feel like the purpose of it has really like diminished.
yeah.
It's still good. I think I would still go because I'd like to see what everyone and talk to everyone. But
I'd like to.
I actually,
do think like a magic.
I really wanted to go. You know, but I wasn't. gonna
I'd like
stop
to
my
go
AX
if
for it.
there was like, you know, the teachers there as well, that you were like,
Yeah.
you could like
Well,
catch up with teachers that you were really friendly with.
surely it's got to be like, you know, how depending on how you want to go is depending on is your life better than when you're in like school, right? Because some people it's up or down. It should be up, you know.
Right.
Some people, you know, maybe it went down a little bit. You know, maybe their golden era was school. And then it's like,
Yeah.
all right, do I want to go?
That's true. Like yours was last year, right? Or this year, I guess.
What, the high school reunion?
Your 10 years. Because what year did you graduate?
2011.
Yeah, so it'd be this year.
Yeah, it'd be this year, and that's why I was checking, because I was like, oh, it's reaching 10 years, and they're like, for us, we have our school's website, and there's literally a section for alumni, and it says like homecoming, and you get to log in and say like, are you going? And I saw a list of everyone who's going, and it's so organized. Like, it's because our school's actually been around for a while, so they've had the time, I guess.
My
to,
school like
Yeah.
barely has a Twitter. I think. I don't
Oh,
know what
really?
I don't even know what they
I don't know if my school has a Twitter. God.
Yeah, and like I just
That'd be
want-
weird.
Yeah, oh
I
my
follow.
God.
I follow my school on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to check who was going, but in order to do that, I had to sign up to the website. But I think it put me on the list. So then I got these messages from like old high school people, like being, "You're going," and I'm
Like,
like,
no,
"Oh,
I'm just
no,
stalking
no,
you.
Yeah,
I'm
I was just seeing.
I just
So
wanna know what you're all up
I'm just
to.
lurking. No promises. No promises. Not
yeah,
going to show up.
yeah.
Because I've heard like there are some high schools where like say like they don't have a website where it's literally just someone from
Someone
that
does
year
it.
being
Yeah.
like, so I've like booked the pub
Yeah,
like
boys,
down the
Yeah,
road,
that's
like
exactly what happened with my school.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was literally just a Facebook group that everyone got invited to,
Yeah.
and apparently some people showed up, and I kind of wish I did.
I mean, I remember when I was in high school, obviously you see them on TV all the time. High school reunions, I'm like, I don't want to fucking see anyone. I hate it here. I don't want to meet anyone. I'm like that one edgy anime character who's like,
Right.
no, they don't all know.
They all
about-
bullied me back
They all
then.
don't know that I'm 1200 rating in chess. You know, like, I'm kidding. But
It's that fucking meme where the
Yeah,
guy standing in the corner
yeah.
being like, they don't know I'm a pro COD player.
like the first 3 years, I was like, nah, fuck high school reunions. I'm too cool for that. But then
Yeah.
more and more it goes down. I'm like, you know what? I think I'd actually like to see how everyone's going.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I'm genuinely curious, especially during quarantine. I had this like weekend when I'm just like, man, I wonder what everyone's up to, because I feel like you get that day one day.
You hire a PI? What'd you do, Garnt?
No, just you know, you see what people are up to on Facebook because you haven't talked to them in years.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
They had all these dreams and aspirations. You see some people who are able to like, you know, some people who have just been stuck in their hometown.
I feel like most people wanted that where I grew up. I think it was almost expected that you never really leave the town.
Yeah,
and
I
you
feel
kind of
like
live
that's
in the
like
area.
a small town mindset, because
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
a lot of people. I talk to Sydney's family a lot, and the people living in her town, and everyone kind of just stays in that one town, and you're kind of like you're kind of like part of a clan, and if you leave the clan, you're like this. You're
banished.
You're dishonoring the clan,
you're
right?
Like, you're like the one who thought you were too good
Yeah.
for the lifestyle. Because like nearly like I think most people in my family, like nearly all generations, live near the same area, like within an hour drive.
Yeah.
And that's really weird to think about now that everyone lives within like an hour drive, like generations of families. So I'm like, wait, did no one have the idea to just like leave? Like,
I feel like as a kid, it's a really like exotic idea to live somewhere else and be somewhere new.
Right.
But then I feel like you underestimate just how much you like comfort.
Yeah.
Like it really takes a lot for someone to be like, I'm going to live in a new country.
Yeah.
And even for those of us who live in different countries, I know, there are a lot of things about home that I'm sure you miss. And even if, you really like the place that you live in, there's a lot of things you miss as well.
Like it's massive props to, like I think all three of our parents, right? At least that, had the balls to be like, I'm just going to go to this country I know fucking nothing about.
Yeah, so my parents took it pretty like easily for me.
Yeah, because it's like Thailand to the UK, Philippines to America, and in my case, Japan to Australia, right? Like it's like... I've always wanted to.
I had like 5 generations
that never
in the same town.
Oh my
my
Lord.
DNA test is like 100% British. Like, there's no one in my family who's from any other country in any like way.
Well, because like you also you not only, your parents not only moved from the Philippines to America, but they also moved to probably the most like friendly place for like non-white people, right?
Yeah, so I was technically born in Bakersfield, California, because the labor clock was ticking. But then as soon as I was born, they went to Virginia, and then I lived half my life in a place that honestly sounds like the beginning of like an RPG game. It's called Mechanicsville. And it sounds like something in Ni no Kuni, honestly.
Yeah, it is like a JRPG name.
Yeah, and then
Starting village.
Yeah, Mechanicsville.
What was weird is like I didn't even realize I had like this weird, I guess, almost country twang to my accent until I came to the West Coast, to Las Vegas, and then people were teasing of like the way I say y'all, or the fact I even say y'all a lot. So I had to kind of like...
I didn't realize that Virginia, they say y'all.
Yeah.
Because because you look at it on a map and it's like, oh, that's nowhere near Texas. So of course
Texas is not the only place.
No, but like just someone who knows nothing about America, right?
Yeah.
When you hear y'all, you immediately think, oh yeah, Texas.
Yeah,
I think Southerner. Like, that's what I think.
But like Virginia's not even in the South. It's like kind of halfway up on the East Coast.
But it is also like kind of like the founding ground. So
most people don't know
no
that.
one knows that except me.
I know that.
Like,
I like US history.
Oh, really? I like...
Because there's barely any of it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Compared to the UK.
Yeah, no,
UK history is so fucking confusing.
I went through a weird period where I was obsessed with your guys' history and culture.
There's so much of it.
And there's like so many bands that like I love that none of my friends in the US can relate to. Like I think when we were at karaoke, Garnt was so surprised I was playing Kaiser Chief, I Predict a Ride, because that doesn't seem like... or Take That, Shine. Like
take that. Just to give you, like, my mum and her friends love Take That. That's the kind of demo that they have in the UK.
The first time she was playing Take That and I saw the music video, was like, wow, the Backstreet Boys got really old.
It's basically the UK Backstreet Boys for middle-aged women who are married.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of like their target down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the thing, right? It's like it's not until you kind of like look deep into like the whole like US, I guess, like geography, that you realize that just because it's not in a particular area, it doesn't necessarily mean they don't talk the same way, right? Like I don't know what I thought people in Virginia sounded like. I thought maybe they sounded closer to like people from New York.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
New York's kind of like its own thing, isn't it?
I feel like the way some Americans are probably hearing this right now and being like and cringing, because I feel like the way we talk about American geography is how we feel when we hear Americans talk about Europe or something.
I think like as someone from the UK, I think that British accents and like where they're laid out is 20 times more confusing.
I think they are.
Yeah.
The US is so easy to keep track of where someone's from based on their accent. And the UK, it's like, this guy sounds completely different to person. Like A person sounds different from B person. They could either be like 2 hours apart or literally 5 minutes in a different town.
Because what's confusing about UK accents is that you can travel a small amount of distance and have a widely varied accent.
Well, I mean, just in London, there's like 20 different accents, right? And that's just a city.
Yeah.
So like, whereas in Australia, I think Australia's the only English-speaking country that doesn't have regional dialects or accents.
They just have like degrees of like strength.
But that's not based on where you are. That's based on how far off the coast you are. It's like the further inland you are, the less you're able to understand
It's
them.
just an Aussie scale, basically, and you scale up.
You scale up the further inland you go. It's like, you're definitely from the inland if I can't understand what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah.
Because like Kevin, for example, right? He's from Perth, which is all the way on the west coast, and I'm from the east coast. But if you ask someone who doesn't know Australian accent,
Yeah, you do sound.
we would sound exactly
you
the
just
same.
sound exactly the same. Yeah.
That doesn't work in America at all. Like in America, you can clearly tell if someone's from New York versus California,
pinpoint
right?
pretty well, yeah. Like even like Louisiana or like I don't know, like just from Texas to California, they just say like a lot. Yeah, I don't know. And yet,
I wonder, did your obsession with the UK start with The Crown? Is that why?
no, actually way before that.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's cool.
Harry Potter.
No, actually.
okay.
Where does your
No.
UK obsession?
Yeah, where did
You can normally pinpoint which show
Yeah.
gets people into
Beatles.
Like, British.
Yeah, I feel
What was the start of your Teaboo
What'd you
phase?
say?
is the
Black Butler.
Black Butler? Did it start with Black Butler?
No, I thought,
Ball student.
no, I don't know. Like, is the Click 5 British?
What the
I
fuck's
have
the Click
never heard of
5?
that.
Come on, man. I feel like I've
What is it? It's a bash
Um,
TV
yeah,
show?
it's a
After
band.
you watched
Okay.
The Crown, you were
May,
like,
can you look
I'm-
up the Click 5?
Yeah, after you watched The Crown, you were like,
Are they
"Connor,
British?
I'm gonna learn Welsh.
What?
Yeah, Aki.
Huh?
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Never mind.
They're from Massachusetts.
I don't know who the hell it was. I know I just listened to a band, and then it just got me into British music, and then from there I just got into British culture. Well, I just happened to also be watching Harry Potter at the time.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
then
that
you
might
watched-
have somewhere in there.
Yeah, but then you watched The Crown and you told Connor, like, I'm
oh
going to learn
fuck, I
Welsh.
love the
Yeah,
Crown.
you were like trying to like speak Welsh, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
no one
bec-
does this. What are you doing?
because it was so pretty. Like I
Good,
was just like,
thank you.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you, it is.
I think Welsh-
Everyone said, no, so many people are like, wow, it sounds disgusting. And I'm like, you just
Really?
listen to it.
No, I think Welsh sounds fucking dope.
Good.
Yeah, I like Welsh. I don't know.
Best flag in the world,
Disgusting.
baby. Best flag in the world. You seen our flag?
It's just a dragon.
Fucking epic, isn't it?
It's just a dragon.
So fucking epic. I love that flag.
Just a dragon.
It's just a dragon.
Yeah.
Imagine saying it's just a dragon.
It's just a
Go and
dragon.
play with your stars and stripes. I'm going to play with a fucking dragon. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, go. I remember. Sorry, one last point about the flag. I remember Joey said it's so hard to draw. No, it's not. You just draw a basic shape. You know it's that flag. Easy.
You're so
what?
he's so patriotic. You have a picture of your flag above your bed.
I did. Yeah. I did
He has
in
a
London.
he has
yeah.
a picture
Really?
of his like. Is it a picture or a painting? Is
It
it,
was
or
a canvas.
Yeah, it was a canvas
Of the Welsh
the
flag.
Welsh flag.
Just to remind yourself in the morning, being like, yep, still Welsh.
Because what happened was is that when I was filming videos at live stream, the thing, my wall was always in the back. And I
Right.
thought, well, why not just let people know?
I
where
didn't
the
know
fuck
it
I'm
at the
from, so stop
time.
asking me.
I didn't know that was your flag at the time. I thought like when we were like on Discord.
like
and
a Harry Potter
like,
house?
I always
flag
saw
or
it in the
something.
back, like behind Connor. I always thought it was like some kindergarten project that you worked on. Because it looked like a painting.
Some macaroni ass.
The garden project.
Because it looked like painted, like on a little canvas. I was like,
See,
oh,
this is-
cute.
Flags nowadays are fucking boring, right? Even back then, like
What do you mean nowadays? They haven't changed.
No, because the UK flag is a new flag. Before that, we used to
Is
have like
it?
all like these weird coat of arms that were like fucking badass and had shit all over. Yeah,
Right,
it's new.
right,
It's
right,
from the when all the countries united.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Our family
what's it
crest's
called? The
just
Union
a-
Jack? Is that what you're talking about?
Union Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Are family crests just a UK thing, or is it?
So like, I think someone pointed out one time because I said I wore a kilt.
Yeah.
To a wedding. That's
Yeah.
only for if you're in a clan, in a Scottish clan. Actually, my second name is a Scottish clan name, and then you would get like a coat of arms or a symbol. But it's not
okay.
a
Yeah.
family association.
That's cool though.
Yeah. So there's like there's a
Imagine-
small
it's like
clan.
there's something about clan that just sounds cool.
Yeah, right?
Except now that like
Yeah, it kinda got ruined.
gaming has just ruined the term
Oh
clan.
my god!
and, like,
Join my gamer clan.
and like history, you know. But
yeah.
yeah, it used to be, it'd be pretty cool to be like, yeah, I'm in a Scottish clan. It's badass. My
Yeah.
second name's Scottish, and a lot of my older family is from Scotland. So
There's
whenever
something
we had Scottish
I don't know what
weddings-
it is about the word clan that is just so much cooler than like the word family.
Yeah.
You know, it's like join my family.
Well,
No,
'cause
join my
sounds-
clan.
yeah, family is everyone has a family.
Yeah.
A clan
Yeah.
sounds like it goes to war.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like you fight.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Die
clan.
for each other.
You die for the clan.
You took a blood oath. you because like especially in Asian culture,
Yeah.
like one thing that confused Sydney so much is just we refer to like everyone as like brother and sister, basically.
Right.
Like so whenever I'd introduce like
some places in America do that too.
No, but like in Southeast Asia, like if some stranger I've never met says they're my uncle, I will 100% believe them. Like, you know what I mean? It's just maybe that's another reason I also have never like thought of dating like another like Southeast Asian, because I'm like it feels like I'm dating my brother or whatever.
Honestly, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, like I just
Can't get to white guy.
I'm just like, oh yeah, and like Joey, like you're just half-oo, so it's okay.
Well, yeah, but I'm not Southeast
Yeah,
Asian.
you're not Southeast Asian.
I'm just Asian.
When I first saw you on when I first saw your videos, I thought you were like Hispanic or Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
I couldn't
everybody
pinpoint
says
what you were.
Star.
Yeah, everyone links me like a Bollywood like star, and it's like this you.
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing. It's like it's three things. Do they have the scruffy hair? Do they have the beard? And is their brown the skin slightly brown?
Yeah.
That's Joey.
In Japan, like especially when I wear a mask and he was wearing a mask, people think that I'm the one that speaks fluently when really it's Joey.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. I hate it.
That's
I mean,
our point.
it's useful when you're taking your friends around because I can tell sometimes when Joey just cannot be bothered to play translator.
Yeah.
I love doing that sometimes. Like I remember I took my uni friends, like my three like Australian uni friends to Kyoto for the first time, and they'd never been to Japan. And of course, because I'm the only one who can speak Japanese there or have been to Kyoto, of course I had to play the translator / tour guide. But I was like, one day I just woke up, I was like, fuck, I'm so tired of this. You know what? I'm just gonna pretend I can't speak a word of Japanese. They'll never know. And we went to this like really nice restaurant, and I remember the clock was ticking, and we had to order right now because the place was closing. And it was like, Joey, we want this, and I was like, eigo menu arimasu ka? And they were so pissed off. But I was like, yeah, now you know how it fucking feels.
Yeah.
I don't get paid for this shit.
Yeah.
No, because that's how I feel whenever I have like a friend round in Thailand, where it's like you'll do it for like a week or something, and then it just gets tiring, and
It really does.
that'll be you.
Tell him what I want.
All the fucking time.
You just feel like you're hang around with a bunch of babies, and you just gotta do everything, right? Because that's why I feel like guilty whenever I ask you to do something, because I know exactly how that feels.
Is it
Like, oh, does baby want a meal?
That is
That is
flickering.
flickering.
So yeah, one thing I've always wondered is that one of the difference is that you guys definitely had a point where you kind of blew up with your YouTube and everything, which was like kind of unprecedented in our community. What was that like? Because I've always had this gradual growth where I've never had a point when, I suddenly just woke up one day and a month later I gained 100k subs or something like that.
Right.
I think because you guys at one point got like 250,000 subs in 1 month. And I think that's the most that...
I think hers was bigger. I think, the max I ever got was like 150, 200k in a month.
Yeah.
That was when you all started collabing. Though.
Yeah, and then I think your biggest one was almost like 400k in a month, right?
Yeah.
You had like 100k in a week.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I remember that too. Like, as I think I said it earlier in the podcast, that like when I called you, I wanted to throw up because, like, I don't know. It's like I knew I wanted to do YouTube, but then once like you see that number going up, I suddenly felt like someone pushed me in the middle of a stage and said dance. Like,
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was just like this huge amount of pressure over a video that I didn't even really take that seriously, and then
Because I remember like
Which
you.
video was it?
Vocaloid.
Vocaloid one.
oh.
Because
Yeah,
I remember you made like a video which was like, those good old like obligatory like thank you for 100,000 subscribers.
I remember,
and
yeah.
then literally a week later,
I made a 200.
you made thank you for 200,000 subscribers.
I did do a 200k, and then like I think a week later I was like, should I do the 300k? I'll just say it in passing in the video. So yeah, no, that was really crazy. And I still can't believe that happened like over 6 years ago. But I mean, maybe I wasn't really part of the anime community itself to really feel what that must have felt like, especially for you, like where you've been in it, like really heavily invested. I was in AMV, which is like a tier of its own. So I wasn't really, I watched like a lot of like your older stuff on that old account, but
Schoolgirl 101.
on the Schoolgirl 101. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I commented on one of those old videos, but other than that, like I was just more focused of like what I was supposed to do, and like that by that point Joey and I had already like made a decision that we weren't going to work out, so I was just very much on my own thing and he was doing his own thing. But yeah, because
you've kind of like transitioned. I've like talking to you like more recently, you've definitely tried to transition away from just doing anime content. Like, was there anything that pushed you to do that, or was it just like your interest kind of diverged a bit?
No, I think it's just because like everything I do now is stuff that honestly genuinely interested in. And like I said before, like anime just puts Japanese culture in front of you, and that's why I called myself an otaku channel, just because like I'm not here to really give an analysis on an anime. There's so many other YouTubers that I think can do the job better than me. So
I mean, even though you technically started in that field, though,
Yeah.
right?
I
Like,
know, yeah. It was,
everything you didn't know about was technically an analysis.
yeah,
video.
yeah. But I mean, I didn't go doing that series to think like, oh, this is going to surpass everyone. I just did it because it was fun to do at the time. But yeah, I don't know. Totally forgot what you had just asked.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that basically every anime YouTuber we know now is trying to do their best to move away from anime content.
Right.
Okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just also, it comes with being a personality. I have that privilege that I can, explore, and I know that everyone's going to be okay with it as long as I'm in it, and so I just do stuff I genuinely like to do.
Yeah.
Unlike when it was anime, I felt like there was a lot of pressure that I have to talk about a specific anime, and then like have to talk about like what's hot right now. What is something I can say that no one else has said? When you're just personality and the world's your oyster, things are a lot more easier for you.
That was
I think anyone who gets like boxed into any type of content eventually feels like, oh, I want to do something else, but my audience,
Yeah.
it's literally me.
Yeah, but I think every single YouTuber like goes through that. Well, not every single one, but every single YouTuber's definitely thought about doing other content, and it's either makes a second channel to do that content or changes their current.
I guess like I almost was on that path of like kind of almost becoming a top 10 channel with the everything you didn't know about series, and I was like, I don't.
Because it was a huge thing back then.
Yeah, it was a huge thing, but I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. So I like slowly, like I just thought it was just natural to just show my face, and the face that I decided to put myself in was the Vocaloid one, which I think also helped perpetuate my subscriber count at that point, because now you could see who was the person that was talking about this shit.
Yeah.
So then through that, people wanted to know me. So then I still did Vocaloid, but in between I had fillers of who I was, and then eventually I gradually got rid of the Vocaloid stuff and just wanted to do my own stuff. And now that I'm in Japan, I was like, what anime fan doesn't want to go to Japan, and what anime fan doesn't want to go to like different types of cafes? So I was like, I'm gonna just do just that, because I know that my audience wants to do this stuff, and I feel like I'm kind of like their what is it, not gateway in, I'm like
introduction.
Yeah, introduction. They're living vicariously through me, I guess, through this content. And yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I feel.
I get that, because like, especially one thing that makes me uncomfortable with my own content is when people kind of see us as like, say, ambassadors of anime, where like I'm just a guy who just has an opinion. But
what did Geeks Lost call us again? The heroes of anime?
No, but it makes me uncomfortable when people are like taking my opinion really, really seriously when I say like
your word is gospel?
Yeah, like I like X or I like Y, and people are just like, yo, Gigux said it, he ruined this community or something, and it's just like, dude, it's just I know as much as I'm just memeing. I know as much as anyone else.
It really says something when like the audience takes your opinion more seriously than you take your own opinion.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I feel that way with just not my, my content, but with trash taste as well. When some people take what we say on Trash Taste very seriously, and sometimes we do talk about serious topics, but when it's just something about anime or something, I'm just like, come on, dude.
It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I have noticed, like I have to ask though, true crime. So
every girl's newest favorite topic.
So recently, recently we've caught up, and you started talking about your newest obsession and some of your new content, which is very true crime-esque. We've recently released a video on the Otaku Killer. I found it funny because we hadn't talked for a while, and Sydney also very much went into this phase, and she's like serial killers for a lot of times, but now it seems like every girl is into true crimes and true crime podcasts.
So you want to see from a female's perspective of why the fuck this is a thing?
This start?
Why?
What happened?
I like true crime, and I don't really know why I like true crime.
No.
I just find real life.
I find that shit fascinating as fuck. Yeah. But there's a difference between liking the content and it being the first thing I watch in the morning.
I did ask one of the girls, sorry, before you answer, I didn't want to, this made me laugh a lot. I asked, why do you like true crime? And they were like, oh, it's like preparation. Like, to defend myself in case this happens. And I'm like, Yo, how often are you going to come across a
Hmm.
serial killer who specifically duct tapes like 10 victims together? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was funny because being with Sydney for so long, she's from Wisconsin, and one of the things they're apparently proud of is that there are so many killers that have come from Wisconsin. So
Isn't it like the number 1 state with like the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
amount of
this is not
serial
a bad
killers?
thing.
I don't know.
Guys, come to Vermont. We have the most sex offenders in Vermont. Like,
So she had always prided herself on I am the serial killer otaku, and then suddenly in like the past year or two, every girl started getting into serial killers and true crime, and I'm just here thinking, where did this come from? Where did it start?
Honestly, I feel like just the blow up has happened because true crime YouTubers, specifically criminal psychology, just started getting recommended, and it's like awoken something I think we all really like. Because for me, I never thought of this as a girl thing until like you told me when we met up, and then I was like, no, that's not a thing. And then then the next day, like I just remember like Charlotte like texted me. She's like, yeah, so you're coming up. We're gonna watch the true crime stuff. I said, yeah. Oh my fucking god. This is a thing. So for me personally, I always thought it just came from me really liking horror, and then me taking psychology. The reason I loved serial killer stories is not what they did, but it's like the psychology that goes through it. Because serial killers have a lot of them are very intelligent, and the shit that they have to do to get to that point it's almost like the more I read it, the more I don't want to think it's real. It seems like it's just so
It's stranger than fiction.
It's so strange. So that's why I liked true crime. And then like with the YouTube channel Criminal Psychology, I just like it that someone had the patience to take like the raw interrogation and break down why they ask these questions, because you can't help but applaud some of these like interrogators that they do this for a living, and they know exactly what question to ask you, not for you to answer, but to just see how you're going to respond. Sometimes they leave you alone just for you to stew in your own thoughts. And Garnt was laughing at this because I was like, I sometimes feel like when I watch it, I'm the one being interrogated. Like I feel like I have to lie myself out of this. I'm just watching the fucking thing. But yeah, so then I started the true crime stuff in Japan, because in Japan I've always just thought, there's always that thing, everyone knows that crime is really low in Japan, but when shit happens in Japan, it's from like 0 to 100. It's like in America, it's nothing like, this is weird, take this with a grain of salt, normal, like guy kills girlfriend for cheating on him, right? It's not that. It's like, I'm going to like burn everyone alive and like post it like on 2chan just because I feel like it, and it's like nothing builds up between that. So my true crime stuff is like, I want to look back of what the fuck happened to this
It's like
guy.
an episode of Black Mirror sometimes.
Essentially.
right?
Yeah, I love
think
Black
it's also
Mirror.
'cause, like, in the US, they might assume that it could be something bad that's happened, right? But in Japan, I feel like, because, crime doesn't happen that much, I think the police never like think that this guy might be going after children or something.
Yeah.
Also, like
I also noticed that with at least Japanese like true crime, a lot of like I guess people in Japan don't talk about it because they don't like it.
It's
They're
taboo.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, don't forget it. Let it be.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting seeing like people like yourself trying to find stuff out about it, because it's like it's so buried because they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And so
Before you go on, sorry. I
I completely forgot what I was going to
No,
say.
but like again, like but then I totally get the obsession in that, right? And I totally
I
get
get
like
it.
watching these interrogation stuff, super fucking
but you want to know
fascinating.
why it's all girls.
Yeah, but like there's a difference again between like looking at an interrogator doing his job and being like, wow, the psychology behind this is fucking fascinating. And, fucking waking up like 7 in the morning and you just, from the living room, you just hear his
Her arms were cut off.
off.
her eyes were gouged out. Her tongue
and,
was slit
and I
out.
go in, I'm like, what the fuck's happening? You're just like sitting at the table eating cereal. Like, like it's nothing.
That's just our mornings. I was
Yeah.
like bonding with Joey on it to be like, do you wake up to true crime podcasts?
Yeah.
And your girl listens to true crime podcasts? Because I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlotte was telling
Like,
me
I'm
that
just it's like the sunlight's coming through, the birds are chirping, it's a lovely day, and you just hear like, and so he brutally murdered these girls in the most gruesome way possible. Here's how they did it.
Number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
Remember, we even went up to the north, and we were meeting Charla, and then like you guys wanted to go to bed, but she's like, hey guys, I'm gonna go upstairs. Does anyone want to watch the true crime thing with me? I'm like, I'll do it. And then she's like, all right, let's go. And, so literally, you and Luke were just
me and my friend were just like, all right, see you
that.
later.
Yeah,
Have a
and
nice day.
I don't know. It's just like, because it's just people talking, and well, no, I'm not also not.
Yeah, but then at the same time, right? It's the double-edged like thing of like, what the girls will be like, yeah, we love watching true crime, but then when you tell a girl that you watched a 2-hour Frederick Newson down the rabbit hole video, they'll be like, why would would you watch that?
Like, bro, they're amazing. Like, what do you mean?
Meanwhile, it's like, I don't want to watch a 2-hour down the rabbit hole episode. I am going to go watch a 6-hour interrogation. It's like,
with some guy commentating over it, the like button. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That meme of just like, I bet he's thinking about other girls. It's just the boys watching Super Monkey Ball speedruns or something like that.
Did you watch the Netflix documentary about like the I think it's like the hotel? It's about like
the hotel where they find the girl in the
water tank.
the water tank one.
That's a really famous case.
I really liked that one because it was like, you thought like it's about this case, and they suddenly were like, yeah, so about these Redditors, man.
Yeah.
It was really cool because it actually because it was quite recent, it was like giving you the perspective of the cops at the time, and they were getting so frustrated that people online kept trying to fucking solve the case, and they wouldn't stop coming up with crazy ass conspiracy theories. And it made me think, I was like, oh yeah, it must be so fucking annoying being a policeman now, where everyone is trying to do your job. And it's like, release every detail to
I was gonna watch that documentary, and I brought it up to Aki. I was like, oh, they made a documentary about the this case, and she's like, I already know.
Yeah,
everything
she already
about
knows
it.
the details.
So I never ended up watching it.
But I gotta ask, like, because if you consume a lot, where is the line with YouTubers talking about like real life cases?
What do you mean?
Like, because do you think it's free game? They can say whatever they want, conspiracy theories and all. They can talk about it, like, because it's like kind of rough. Because it's like you only have X amount of facts, right?
So
How
what
far
I do?
are you allowed to talk about?
So
to the
I
point
went
where-
pretty fucking deep with the Otaku Killer one. With that one,
But you didn't present any theories, right? Like, you just told the case,
yeah,
like the
because
facts.
when it comes to presenting theories, I would say that like. I don't know, because for me, I want to go over cases that are already like closed.
Right.
By that point, like, and it's been a substantial amount of time.
You don't want to
since then.
accidentally solve a case.
Because
right?
like, okay, so I don't know if you guys knew about, like, you probably heard of that Twitter killer in Japan.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even want to touch that because that was still going on, and I didn't want to fuck it up.
Yeah, and
like
also,
with my
I-
video,
I feel so bad for these, like in that
cops.
documentary as well, like the cops and also the families. Like,
Yeah.
it's like this whole documentary was going on about this hotel. You should watch it, by the way. What is it called? Do you guys know?
No, I don't.
I don't know what it's called.
I'm sure it's a good documentary. My problem with a lot of Netflix documentaries I find nowadays is that it feels like they drag it out so
do,
much.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I remember because I knew the basic details of this case because I've heard it from like secondhand, just hearing Sydney listen to different cases. So I knew the case, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll find out a bit more about the details. And then I watched 60 Minutes, and the first episode was just literally building up the hotel itself, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I already know what happens.
Who cares?
Just-
It's
I
a
don't
shit
care about
hotel.
this.
Yeah.
We get it.
It's a Skid Row
It's a
hotel.
bad hotel, and they focus on this couple who's just this British couple who's like staying in a hotel, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about a couple. Just give us the main facts, please. That's been my big problem.
It was really interesting because it was like the only one that like looked at like the online critics or online like people who are trying to solve it in like a critical way.
Yeah.
Because there was
Yeah.
another one that was called like "Don't Fuck with Cats."
I
and this
love
one-
that one.
I love
Okay,
Don't Fuck
I
with
liked
Cats.
it, but I could not fucking
Stand
stand
the girl.
woman. Oh my god! And how
Yeah.
she presenting it like
We're just like-
a couple of guys online.
No,
gotta
it
solve
wasn't.
a murder. And it's
No, it
like
wasn't
this-
even that. It was just like we're just like internet nerds, just trying to like. Yeah, it was.
It's like-
Oh god.
I understand that like the modern cases, a lot of instant people.
But
play
I
in
like
there,
the way
but-
Don't Fuck with Cats builds it up. Like
Yes,
it
they
doesn't
did.
even.
They did build it up
doesn't.
well.
They don't even show you Luca Mignogna's face until the very end, even though they easily could have, because they want you to like see everyone's perspective, like that was involved in this.
That one was crazy, and it would have been so much better if they had just replaced that woman with just a standard narrator or something else. Like, no offense to the woman, it was infuriating
Yeah,
watching this.
yeah.
How she was just talking about cats being murdered, and then she was like, "Whoa, that was wacky," and then we
Or
found him
if
killing other people.
or
And
if she
it's like,
could,
what?
or if she could have just like stuck with
It
the
was
facts.
the acting. It was the acting that
Yeah.
drove me
Yeah.
insane. It's like you don't need to act on something that like is about murder and cats
Yeah.
being killed. Like I don't need this.
Yeah, it's
shit
like
right
I don't
now.
need to know the personality
Yeah. Yeah.
of the presenter. Like I just give me the facts.
I think one of the big reasons I could never get into true crime, or like I've never been able to fully invest in it, is just because it feels like to me. I know it's not intentional, but it feels like to me it's you kind of view this as like a fictional story. You view it
Yeah.
as like an entertainment kind of an entertainment based thing.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Don't Fuck with Cats, and very very fascinating story. That's not what I'm saying. And they had a segment on this, but it just feels like it just for me it feels a little bit wrong, or I just feel a little bit dirty when I know that I'm watching this for entertainment, when I know that someone got fucking murdered,
Yeah.
and that this is like some families' lives has been ruined by this. And,
Yeah.
you know, all the attention is on the murderer. And I know they did do like a segment on, you know, how nobody remembers the victim. And that's just the fucking ugly truth of it. And that's why that's the big line for me when it comes to like true crime and watching like a good horror movie or a good like fictional story. Is that I can't like wash away this feeling that I'm just kind of like listening to this, like I don't know what the right word is, but it's just like I'm viewing this real life event, this real life tragic event as an entertainment piece, because that's what it is. It's an entertainment piece, and that's kind of like why I've not been able to get into it.
So would you prefer it then, say, hypothetically, if they like, you know, properly go over like the family side of thing?
I don't know what the right way to go about it is. It's just
maybe there is no right way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a right, because it's just my mental block. Because like, you know, I find something like, for example, Monster fascinating because it's like a really deep character study on, you know, what it means to, are you born evil or is evil something you learn along the way? And but the reason I'm in a the reason I can invest in it is because I know it's a fiction. There's that barrier that I know that no one's
like that
heard.
moral barrier, right? Yeah.
It's kind of like, I guess, telling, you know, story about wars and stuff though as well, right? There's tons of death in that, and you know that's just because you know, more often than not, you just used to tell stories about stuff that had happened, stuff in real life. And even though they have to, unfortunately, I think at times stories do have to be boiled down in a way that will make people listen.
Yeah.
So it does almost, like you say, like, I mean, I understand why the story needs to be said and why it almost does feel wrong that it's entertainment, but I understand completely why it is that way.
Yeah.
Like for human nature, we've always been telling stories about horrific things.
Yeah.
Because they're stories.
And the stories, and you know, sometimes I feel, you know, it feels, I don't know if wrong is the right word, but it just feels weird to have it presented in a way that is entertaining.
I will admit though, the modern like gold rush of true crime is getting a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Like it's starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable with how much stuff is being milked and how much is being like kitchen nightmares editing-esque stuff. It's like, it used to go from these are the facts of the case to now it's like Mary didn't know what was coming and then it came.
Because the point is, if you just present the facts of a case, it's boring. It's fucking boring. And I especially feel this whenever I watch like American news broadcasts versus like British news broadcasts.
100%.
Because British news broadcasts are like the most boring news broadcasts ever.
Yeah.
And in America, I remember the first time I went to America, I turned on the news and it felt like I was watching a movie.
Yeah, like I dead ass
wild.
didn't know sometimes if I was watching the news in America or I was watching an episode of The Cops, right?
Yeah.
Because it's edited in the exact same way. Where it's just like, it's a little too like, it's a little too, I guess, you know, and that I guess kind of boils down to like that whole genre of films of like exploitation films, right?
Yeah.
It's like some people find it really fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
While others are like, that's not really cool.
I also really like documentaries because I like to figure out, I'm like, all right, who are they trying to get me to root for?
Yeah.
Like, what are they in this? Because it's someone telling a story, right? And they've carefully picked out all these interviews, carefully asked people questions to present it in a certain way. And it's fun. Sometimes I like watching it just to figure out, like, why are they trying to make me think this way? Why are they trying to get me to have this opinion of X character? It's just really interesting.
I guess that's what made like Tiger King so good, right?
I think there's a video by like Quentin Reviews about it. About documentaries. It was really good.
Yeah, because I think what made me realize this is watching Don't Fuck with Cats, where what was his name again? Wasn't
Luca Mignana.
Mignana.
Yeah.
Just say Luca.
Luca, where all he wanted was to have the spotlight and was to have the attention. And I remember at the end thinking, oh, he fucking succeeded.
Yeah.
This is everything that he wanted.
I don't have a 4-part.
This is literally like Dark Knight Joker moment.
He got a 4-part Netflix documentary series, dude. He was the real winner out of this, and it just felt dirty to me. I was just like, damn man, I don't know.
Yeah, and yet.
Yeah, I guess when his sole aim was to get attention and then he gets it, that is kind of
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it all just comes from the human nature of like looking at a car crash that you can't look away from. We love to torture ourselves.
We're
looking
simple
at some
beings.
fucked up
Well,
shit.
one other thing I do want to know is that because I wake up to this and I hear a different story, or like I hear a new episode every time.
Okay.
How many stories have you listened to? How many like how deep does the true crime well go? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because I feel like the gentlemen have only stepped into the kiddie pool, right? Like,
I'm sick of it because I've watched so many now that I can like feel like the formula being formed.
Yeah.
It always starts right. They're like, you know, Timmy was a little different, but we never thought that he would ever do anything like this.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it'd be like, it'd cut to the victim, and it's like, she was only good things, the victim. And then cuts back to the thing. It's like, and then something weird started to happen at school. And it's like, all right, okay, we get it. All right. He was weird, right? But like, they would never say this shit unless he was a serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, so when they find out, it's that they only remember bad things. So everyone always says the same shit about every serial killer. It drives me insane.
Is that true?
After you've watched like 10
That formula?
documentaries, you feel like you're going insane watching more because you're like, these feel all the same.
I feel like that with a lot of, especially like, I'm making this sound like it's fucking film, but like Western crime, like it starts to feel like the same thing. But I mean, I don't know. Sorry again. I feel again. I mean, with my series and like the one in Japan, every case isn't really the same in my opinion, because. I mean, I don't know. Though, at least I literally have.
No, I wasn't saying that the case is the same. It's how the documentary makers present the
story.
Well, the thing is, like with true crime podcasts or true crime YouTube videos that I can see, it's not always like a documentary. It's literally just listing out the events.
Facts. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah,
I don't particularly like that.
Yeah, I mean, because to me it feels like I've seen like top 10 lists of like the weirdest crimes or like the top unsolved crimes.
That we have top 10 deaths caught on camera.
My favorites are the top 10 breakdowns in courtroom cases.
Top 10 unsolved crimes.
Yeah,
and like you go through one top 10.
Like, what dictates number 7 over number 8? Like, I don't understand. They're both horrible.
And like I've heard of a few, and you get to a point where it's like asking people what their top 10 anime is. After you've seen enough anime, you see the same cases.
Yeah.
You know what the same. You know what everyone's like.
I love. Go. Sorry.
You know what the mainstream anime are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel like. What are your top 10 crime cases, Aki? What are the ones that stick out to your mind?
List them off, chill style.
Oh my god.
Number 10.
Go on.
No, you want me to list?
I mean,
Or like off the top of your head, what's your favorite?
What are some of the ones that stick out to your mind?
I literally have like a bookmark like list like this fucking big on my computer.
what's your favorite true crime documentary? Like, it comes to mind, like when you think.
God, legit, like Don't Fuck with Cats was just perfect to me. Honestly,
That's pretty good.
honestly, that was perfect. Besides like the chick. The fact that like this is a closed case and yet you feel like it's still open, like I don't know, the whole presentation is good.
Love those videos where it's like it presents itself as like a really big mystery. It's like a mystery. And then like they're like 2 episodes in and then they present like what actually happened, like the very plausible, very simple explanation, and then they're like, but some people don't believe that, and then it's like 30 more minutes of like complete utter nonsense and it's
Just like theories that don't make sense.
Complete bullshit. It's like you already have the explanation. Just accept that it's fucking boring, like real life is.
Well, because like weirdly enough, you didn't really like Tiger King.
No, I actually,
which is
really
weird
didn't like
because
it.
like you'd think that the fact that at the end of the day it's a true crime, right? It's a true crime story. That's just a little bit unique.
It's a crime that any of those people got to be filmed and put
Yeah.
But like you didn't like it. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why? What was it that like you didn't like about Tiger King that you liked about everything else?
I don't know. Maybe I've just seen and heard so much fucked up stories that like it was just not entertaining to me. I was like, oh yeah.
You've literally numbed yourself.
Just a war veteran.
I honestly think it's probably that. Like,
it was just like watching a playground argument just unfold, but with guns and tigers.
I think what I didn't like about Tiger King was the fact that I couldn't believe these were real people.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were playing. Like I dead ass thought first 2 episodes I thought they were playing a character.
I watched it all and I thought, fuck, I just wasted all my time.
For nothing.
I'm just surprised how popular it got.
Yeah, right?
I didn't expect.
I just really appreciate, especially I'm rolling back to that YouTube channel, Criminal Psychology, just because like it takes a lot of research to understand why this interrogation is being played out the way it is. It's not just question and answer. It's like they're trying to like create pressure for you to fucking just confess.
I guess because you have a psychology background, it's like more entertaining for you.
I feel like even without a psychology background, I think that shit's just fascinating. The way that it's just presented. They explain it like you're 5,
Right.
and I don't know. I like my heart starts racing like the closer they get to getting to the
to
person.
getting that confession out.
Yeah, to getting that confession. I was like,
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah,
I've noticed that there's like reaction YouTubers to interrogations.
What?
Yeah. There's people who like
Yeah.
watch interrogations and give their thoughts on that thing, and I'm like, this is kind of
That's going too
this is
far.
weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I like, oh my god, what?
I don't imagine anyone like doing all of that stuff. I just like
I'm
just
gonna
watch
stop.
the
I'll
whole
be
thing.
Interrogation.
That's like
about it.
reacting
Yeah.
to public hanging. It's like, whoa,
Fucking,
that
like,
just happened.
It's like shocked face underscore
Emojis, like-
Aki.png.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
pretty
all
bizarre
we
how-
all have that PNG file.
It
I
is
think.
bizarre that it has been like commodified.
yeah.
I was wondering what the word is. I was like, entertainment-fied? Is that a word? I was like, there is. I'm sure there's a word.
I actually had no idea that you guys had talked about the true crime thing on your podcast. So when I uploaded the Otaku Killer video, like half my comments are like, "Wow, the podcast was right about you." I said, "What? No, I don't. What, Joey? What the fuck did you say?"
Called you out.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think obviously due to the fact that there's more mobile phones and that things are being recorded more for like the evidence purposes in
Yeah.
courts, so there's just more and more stuff getting released.
Public
to the public.
journalism, right?
And this is the side of the public that this is the side of crime that the public never saw, right? You
Yeah.
only ever hear about this through like stories from cops,
Yeah.
which obviously was presented with full of bias and stuff like this. So I think it's just like a renaissance almost of the public being given access to crimes.
Yeah.
For good and bad, because now there's people get outraged all the time at stuff that cops do, rightfully so. So
Yeah.
shit they pull, right? Like, and so it's kind of. I wonder if this will be an ongoing thing where crime from now onwards has to be put in mind. Where I'm like, what's the YouTube comment going to say about the way that I wonder if there's going to be crimes in
What if
future.
there's like serial
Yeah.
killers who are like, oh, I wonder what clickbait they're going to use for my
Well, yeah,
crime.
because I wonder now, like, if I'm in an interview, I'm being interrogated, I might think, well, this might be on YouTube, right? On a good show, Like, no, I wonder. It's really, I guess,
It's desensitizing,
the way
right?
that, like, yeah, we've been desensitized to it, but also
Yeah.
it's a system that hasn't been built to be exposed to the public.
Yeah, I don't think it's just that, but because I think like another big thing is that the barrier between like reality and fiction has kind of like been slowly broken down because sometimes we kind of view social media as entertainment nowadays. So like cancel culture is like a big thing nowadays. And I feel like, with so many YouTubers making like apology videos and outing other people like this, there is a reason people do that. There is a personal reason people do that. But we got to admit that to the vast majority of the public, this is just entertainment.
Yeah.
This is just watching the high school, this is listening to high school drama and gossip. And like it's what it's slowly turned into where, it's our entertainment has just become other people's reality. This is our modern day reality TV.
I can definitely
that's what it
see.
feels like.
I can see the difference. I've mentioned this to a couple of people, but like it still only just seems like a few years ago, like when the internet and real life, there was such a thick wall between two of them. Like you could tell that anything that was said on the internet was not taken personally, and then like being in reality, it was whatever. But now the news gets like half of their shit from Twitter, and reality and the internet has fused so heavily into each other that everything you post, that's the kind of person you are. At least that's what
it legit
that's
like serial experiments laying like straight
Yeah.
up. Top
Yeah,
of
that,
it.
essentially, yeah.
It did.
Like 10 years ago, it would be like, oh, did you catch the latest Love Island or Big Brother? Did you hear what X did?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
nowadays, it's more like, yo, did you see that apology video? Yo, that was a
Did you see that?
spicy-
Did you see that tweet longer, dude?
Yeah, that was a
and-
yikes on that Twitland. And it's just like, okay, and we are kind of commodifying other people's drama in that case.
Essentially, and people's lives are being ruined over just people just trying to, create conspiracies out of just posts. Some of those posts are just, actually a lot of those posts are just twisted to make these conspiracies of anonymous people that honestly don't give a shit about you, and it ruins careers, it ruins lives, it ruins people's mental health.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I kind of hope at some point that line of like anonymity, not caring about other people on the internet, like where is the line going to get drawn?
I don't know, because I don't see it stopping, and that's the
Yeah,
problem. And
exactly.
one of the biggest things I see now is like, it doesn't matter what how right you are in the court of law, because what's more important nowadays is the court of public opinion,
essentially.
And it's a really unhealthy way to think about things, because it's sometimes I do feel that there is like sometimes online witch hunts, and sometimes it's so broken down to basic mob mentality nowadays. And it can get really dangerous. So
that's why I tell people that anyone who wants to like be a YouTuber, streamer, or any influencer on the internet, it takes thick skin, a lot of thick skin. You have to always be prepared for the inevitable, that there will always be a community out there who like you'll be a scapegoat to someone. Anything and everything you do and say will just be wrong, like to these people, and they will wait for you to fuck up so badly where they can finally drag you down. And I don't know, I just feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why there is this whole side to my personal life that I want nothing to do with YouTube, because then at least I want to be able to,
everything's being monitored, right?
Essentially, I feel like people who get like, I guess, canceled really badly on the internet, it affects their own personal lives to the point like they cannot live normally. Like there's I don't know, I feel like on the internet it's, if you make a mistake you deserve to die kind of mentality, and there's no second chances.
The thing about cancel culture nowadays is that we're trying to cancel people who say don't deserve their fame or something like that. But it's gotten to the point where if someone is getting cancelled, people who are not even in their circle will hear and talk about it.
Yeah.
Like most of the people, some of the people that have this big apology or cancel or is getting cancelled, I have never heard of these people until they got cancelled. Like I have nothing to do with their industry or in their circle. But as soon as they're getting cancelled, as soon as they're drama, suddenly it's literally everywhere. And literally everyone has to have an opinion on it.
And they kind of throw around that name as if you're the weird one for not having an opinion on it. Right? It's like, I've never heard of this dude.
You know what?
And people are like, what's your opinion on them getting cancelled? It's like, I just knew about them 5 minutes ago.
You know what's sad about all of this is like when someone gets canceled, right? And you eventually Twitter does like kind of the math work of seeing where it came from and the person it came from. Then let's say that influencer that got canceled finally calls out the person who started it all. That person, all they have to do is just close their account, run off as if it never happened. But then the influencer has the damage left over and has to deal with trying to repair their reputation over something that probably wasn't even a big deal in the first place.
Because the big problem I see is that the big difference between this and say reality TV shows is that people signed up to be fucking clowns on reality TV shows. You know what I mean? They knew what they were
getting paid to be clowns.
Yeah, they're getting paid to be clowns, and they signed themselves up to be like commodified and viewed as a piece of entertainment. Right. But like nowadays, literally that could be anyone with a social media account. That could be anyone who has an online
without their permission
at all. And some people have done some pretty bad stuff, but like the problem nowadays is that I feel like even if someone did something bad, I can't help but feel that some people are just looking for their 5 minutes of fame, even if something bad did really happen to them. And I'm really hoping this doesn't come off that I'm trying to victim blame or something like that, because that's really not what I'm trying to say. Because it feels like it can sometimes feel like, not every case, but in some cases, that people are just doing this for the clout. Yeah. They're doing this because they know they can get some attention out of it, and that's why. And
people are gonna like rag on about them for a while, but then they probably in the back of their heads they probably know by a week. Yeah, it's gonna go back to normal.
And that's why like we start ending up like fucking ranking apology videos, be like, yo, he fucking slam dunked this person in the apology video.
I do love the tier list for apology.
I know, it's but like you gotta remember these are people's fucking lives that we're judging here, and it's not about who's actually right. It's about who can present their case the best, and it's about pleasing the court of public opinion rather than being behind the scenes who was actually morally right or
like,
what actually
honestly
happened.
Like I'm just gonna say, I really hate how there's like a sense of humanity just taken away from us, like the moment that you become someone in the public eye. Like you can't make mistakes, you are not given second chances, and every mistake you've made, that is you, and you're a piece of shit, and there's no redemption, there's no room for redemption on the internet. So that's why I'm just gonna say
as if every human being is perfect.
I'm just going to just say it right here, just in case I know it's going to happen. Like I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to learn from it, and it's whether up to you guys if you want to forgive me or not, but it's through those mistakes that you can change as a person. And I feel like it's the most basic basic thing that everyone knows, and yet we just kind of blow it off like it's nothing because, you know, we're public figures. That rule, for some reason, does not apply to us or whatever. So I don't know. I've always just wanted to kind of get that out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean any harm to anyone, and I'm sure if I ever made a mistake, I'd like the opportunity to fix it. Right?
Yeah.
It's very scary knowing that that chance might not be given to me. And
you're like always on the line, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking scary how much a mob can turn, and you know there are people. It seems like the opposite of the way things should work because whenever someone gets outed, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah,
you know, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's just the way the mob mentality works.
And it sucks
because no one like there's just not enough people who are like, hey, why don't we just wait and see like what happens?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because 90% of people are like frothing at the mouth, ready for the drama, and then there's just that 10% of people who are like, yeah, I mean, we could just wait and hear both sides, maybe. Like, it's unfortunate that
like, no, I don't want to wait. I want something to happen now.
It's unfortunate that most people's reaction to X person did this X thing is that, oh my god, let's go for it. Let's start. Like, instead of being like, did they though? Let's hear what they say.
And I
kind of hear that point.
I think coming from like being more personality based on YouTube, it sucks that like it seems like the only thing that anyone has to go by is literally just the videos I've done or any post that I've made, and it's like, I mean, again, there's every single person on the internet has like a whole life like that is completely different. You can't base a person off of just what their post is. You know, I see some of the weirdest shit like, oh, Aki was in a video with that person, she didn't look very happy, or like that person, oh, the way, did you see the way that they,
this photo
did you see the way that they like looked at that other person, or the way that like Joey just like did this to his nose? Who the fuck cares?
Was it
like
your video I was in where I was like, I think it was just, I was just being me and letting you guys talk. And like,
and people, all the comments are like, man, Connor looks really annoyed. I'm like,
maybe
that was just him. Like,
maybe Connor has the same problem I do, which is we just have really bad resting
really
bitch
bad
face.
resting bitch face.
Me
People
too.
think I'm angry all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just British. I hate it, but what can I do?
Yeah, no, it's just my listening face. That's why I've just been super transparent that also I'm introverted and I just want to listen.
It's that whole mentality of, you know, the whole fucking, I know your life better than you know your life.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
I hate that you have to justify that in the first place.
Every YouTuber you've met, right, is like different steps away from their personality that they show. Some people are exactly the way that they show themselves. I'd like to think I'm pretty fucking spot on to how I present myself. There's some people who are like 100% could not be more different from the person they present, right? And
it's like two different people.
Right. And it's kind of, you don't know if that is really them, so don't assume that that's how they act 100% of the time.
Right.
Like, I'm obviously, I think one thing that you're probably is for most people, except for like Sydney, is that they're not as energetic. Or like people, they're not as like in high intensity as they are shown. Yeah,
I think there is a reason for that though, and this is also like applying to me as well.
People don't have that much fucking energy.
No, and you know what Connor just said applies to me. It's like I will be really outspoken on my video, but like I did in the fortune teller video, I literally just showed what I'm. I'm very different with how I am with someone else, but that's because like, you know, at the end of the day, we were just kids. I sound like that fucking girl from Don't Fuck with Cats, but we were just we
were just a couple of kids.
We were just, you know, like people that had a camera and just happened to get a following on the internet. But at the end of the day, we're still in that room just by ourselves. Yeah. And when the doors are closed and no one's there, we have the confidence to say exactly what's on our mind. But you know, I feel like everyone has that problem. Like you have a lot that you want to say, but the moment like someone is in front of you, you can't get it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Because I feel like one of the biggest the most toxic mentality that's kind of being brought up with like some of the newer generation, especially raised on the web, is that they feel like they're privileged to know everything about a certain case or people's like lives, especially when it comes to do with drama. They feel entitled, like they deserve to know everything that happened, even though it's got nothing to do with them.
You know what I really hate that people do is when people force two influencers to be friends. You know what I mean? Why
are you not friends with so and so? It's like because I don't want to be friends with so and so.
You know, like because I mean I'm a picky person in general. You can't force me to like someone. Like it's gonna show on camera. You can tell when two YouTubers. I think you said this earlier. Like that's our first time meeting, or we just don't we're not close, and it shows. Yeah. But then and you're happy that we're finally together. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
worse than that is I haven't met many people who have done this, but other YouTubers who use like that pressure from the public to force someone into being friends. They'll like tweet at you a bunch in a way that like, you know, kind of
Sorry,
like
I wasn't understanding.
So like, you know, maybe for example, another YouTuber wants to be friends with you. So what they'll do is just keep tweeting at you publicly.
Or they get their fans to tweet at you.
Yeah, but then if you tweet at them publicly, like the fans reply.
Then,
So
then
they're
there's
kind of like
pressure.
they're kind of like twisting your arm.
It's a little bit worse than the fan base of that person tweeting.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why fans do it, right? They more often than not they might really like two creators as well. So I get it why they want to see, you know, people collaborate.
Right.
But it's quite frustrating when someone in your position who should know better does it. Like tweeting at someone is not. I'm not saying YouTubers can't tweet at each other, but there is a way that some YouTubers do it, and the frequency at which they do it, which is obviously in an attempt.
Yeah,
to
there's
like,
nothing wrong with like tweeting.
Hey, follow me. Follow me back. Let's talk. Be friends.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like, you know, two YouTubers tweeting at each other. I tweet at YouTubers all the fucking time. But what's annoying is when every time it has nothing to do with anything. I'm just like tweeting, being like, haha, yeah, cool. And there's 17 responses being like, collab.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god!
no.
I just
you
stick
always
it.
do the same thing when you talk about collabs. You do collab.
Yeah, it legitimately, it sounds like a bunch of seals at SeaWorld. It's just fucking collab.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not.
You're a Joey.
Like no, you sometimes like you can tell when like a YouTuber's really trying to force their way into your circle by getting their fans to do it.
Not many people do it, but it
Not-
has.
not-
I've
just-
seen
just-
it happen. I've
Yeah,
definitely seen it happen.
I've definitely seen it happen. But yeah, what's another thing on YouTube? Oh yeah, I said this like a really long time ago. I think with just Joey and Garnt. But one thing that is,
What do we do?
I don't think you were there. That's why.
What do we do?
But like, so you know how like a lot of YouTubers say, I don't care about the views and the views don't mean anything. I think it's a load of like shit at some point, because it's okay to care about your views, because that's like being at a job and caring how many hours you're getting, how much you're getting paid. It's okay to care about how many views you're getting, but like also not being a dick about it.
I think the important thing is to think about the views after the video's been made.
Yeah.
People, if you're going into a video with the views in mind of like what's going to get the views,
Yeah.
you know, in a way that's
You're doing it purely for the views.
in
Yeah.
a healthy obsession way, not
Yeah.
like, because sometimes I'll think of a topic and I'm like, this is a popular topic. This is probably gonna have some interest, but I'm not thinking like this needs to get views or it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, I think that I'll look after, and if it does well, I'm like sick. If
Yeah.
it does bad, I'm like, well, that sucks, but on to the next thing, right? What am I
Yeah.
gonna do? Sit here
Because
and fucking mourn?
I feel like what I meant when I said that, because I have said I don't care about the views before.
Everyone's had that
God's like,
obligatory.
I want to defend myself here.
I'm gonna defend myself.
Honestly, I think we've all said it at some point,
Everyone's
so it's
made that
okay.
obligatory update video where
Yeah.
they're like, guys, I'm just doing it because I love doing YouTube. I don't care about the views.
I've kept a saying to heart. It's like expect nothing and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That's
What were
kind
you
of
gonna
what I
say?
do into
Because like it's gotten to the point where, you know, every YouTuber has this point when they realize that there's a point in your life when you realize, hey, your mental health is really affected by how well your videos
Yeah.
do, and
Yeah.
that's really fucking unhealthy.
Yeah.
So like I had to get to a point in YouTube where I just stopped looking at the views. Like I had to stop looking at the views and just focus on the content.
That's
Yeah.
hard to do.
It
And
is hard.
to do,
It's
but
a
like,
skill.
It's just something I knew I had to do, because we have this tool. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but we have the tool on YouTube where you upload a new video and YouTube will tell you how well it's performed out of 10 compared to your last 10 videos. And to me, it's just a lose-lose game, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd never.
We should show the trash taste one right now.
It is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most mind-breaking mechanic.
It
that
is,
they put
like,
in.
because what I've realized is that you lose most of the time, right? Because if a video is below 5 out of 10, you feel like shit the entire
Yeah.
day.
Guess
You're
I'll
like,
die.
Like, exactly. Like we meme it, but like your day can literally be ruined.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking stupid by
Yeah.
knowing that your video performed 9 or 10.
They also
Yeah.
give you like little fucking firework animations
Yeah.
if you got number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did it. Yeah. But the thing is, what I realized is that if it's like a 4 or 5,
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, you don't feel good. You feel relieved.
Yeah.
And that's just so unhealthy, because like
Yeah.
that just means the only time you actually feel good is when you get the number 1 or 2,
Yeah.
which statistically speaking, you can't always get the
Yeah.
number 1 or 2.
And what's worse is like when you do get that number one, the next thing you expect is, well, the next video has to be number 1 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just have to keep one-upping myself, and it never happens.
So like I always leave at least like 4 or 5 days before
Yeah.
checking the views of my video. Right.
Yeah.
That
That's-
gives me
that's
enough
prob-
time.
that's-
Bro, you must survive No Nut November easily then. Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess before we wrap this up, What's next for Akidearest? What's the next plans? What are you going to do? What are your goals?
I'm working on the next On the Case video.
All right.
Now.
I mean,
I've been doing it. I can't give you any hint. I already
would
told
you say
them.
you're more of a, like a short-term planner? Like you don't really think about like the year or two from now. You're like, I'm just thinking about what's going on in the next month.
Yeah, I feel like it's just good to just stay in the present because that just shapes out how your future's going to be.
Damn.
That's a t-shirt right there.
Damn, I was not expecting
You've
something
been
so
watching
deep.
Trash Taste.
I'm pretty sure I've seen people with chess pieces that say that.
Well, I don't know. I've been so stressed over like what could have been or like what did I do? Oh man, I fucking like did that yesterday when at the end of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just feel like I just have to fix it now.
I feel like for every one thing, I'm like, damn, I could have done that. I got like 100 other things where I'm like, holy shit, I was so lucky with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you win some, you lose some. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I guess you want to do the outro, Jerry?
Yeah. Hey, if you have no idea who Aki is, then as always, we'll leave the links to socials down in the description. And also, hey, look at all these patrons who are living in the moment as well.
Whoa, this moment.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
Fucking hell. It's vile.
Who's your favorite patron, Aki?
This one, right?
Jimmy.
There's no
Jimmy.
Jimmy. You got to point where they are. Where are
What?
they?
Oh.
Point.
Which one?
There?
This one?
You.
That
That
one?
one?
Oh my
I'm
God.
more a fan
My
of
God.
this
You-
one right here.
But if you want to be pointed at on screen blindly, then make sure to go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, the subreddit, and hey, if you don't want to see our faces, follow us over on Spotify. But yeah, thanks for coming onto the show, Aki.
Yeah, thank
You finally come on, so you can stop asking the
Yeah.
fucking
When are we
subreddit
gonna
now.
when are we gonna continue the anime show?
No, we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about
We
your
do not
podcast.
talk about that.
We do not talk about that show. We have buried that show long ago. We
I
do not
didn't
dig
make
that
the
back
name,
up.
by the way.
Joey's,
Oh, I wonder who made the name The Anime Man.
Joey's
No idea.
podcast prologue.
Yeah, couldn't tell you. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Trash Taste, and I've been with the boys,
Thank you very much, Aki, for coming
Thank
on.
you very
Yeah, no
much.
worries.
It's been
Thanks
a
for
long
having-
time coming.
Yeah.
and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
And Mike. Bye, Mike.